Welcome to Animal Football Insider, your weekly look into the happenings of your Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Florida Gators, and all things related to football. And now, from West Des Moines, Iowa, here's your host, The Animal.
Oh, you're surely the Animal, back at you for another edition of the Animal Football Insider. Only tonight, it's not just related to, the Gators and what have you. It is solely to these guys, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the rest of the National Football League. As tonight is the annual commission of the annual selection meeting, also known as the NFL Draft. And I'll tell you what, there is a lot of excitement building as we are 15 minutes away from kickoff of the NFL Draft. You're surely the Animal with you tonight. I'm going to be here with you throughout the course of the evening, at least through the first round tonight. We'll see how it goes. If you like it, fine. If you have a favorite NFL team and they're coming up and you want to join in and talk about your team and who they think they're going to pick, you're more than welcome. Just message me on Facebook, and I will be able to get you on. We talk a lot about the draft. I know that Lauren Meadows, who covers the Florida Gators for some magazine, I cannot remember what it was. Maybe Lauren can join me a little bit later on. We'll talk about that. Also, Peter Galens would join me as well. In fact, Peter Galens, who's a diehard Buccaneer fan, he is out at Raymond James Stadium. We'll hear from him in just a minute. But the big news of the day surrounds Lamar Jackson, the quarterback of the Baltimore Ravens, who's been involved in a very, very heated contract dispute between the team and him. And as you know, Lamar Jackson was representing himself. Well, there was a lot of talk when he was going to get drafted. When he was going to complete his contract, even if he was going to complete his contract. Earlier today, that came through. It's a 5-year deal worth, I believe, $240 million. I can tell you tonight that $180 million of that is indeed guaranteed. So that is what's going on with that. So Lamar Jackson now, that deal is over with. And unfortunately, that's going to take a lot of the conversation tonight heading into the NFL Draft. Now, before we go on any further, because I know that, let's see here. And I see Lauren Meadows in the green room right now. Hi, Lauren, I see you. Yes, Lauren, you can have another piece of pie. Let's see what I got here for you. Let's see. Can I do that? Yes. Peter Galens is live out at Raymond James Stadium where they're hosting a draft party. So right now, let's hear a report from him right now. Okay? Take it away, Peter. All right, Peter. Come on. Come on, Peter. I got to get you on. Come on. I'll get him on here just a second. Hang on. Come on. Does this thing freeze up on me? It better not have. Hang on. All right. So let's see here. All right.
I know Rick Odioso, Tony Dungy also. Ken the Bucks, trade up. Possibly pacify Devin White and you get him a trade. And maybe get a quarterback that will shape this franchise for years to come. The NFC South, also the NFL in general. They could also do well by going for an offensive or defensive lineman. I'm very hopeful for tonight. The weather's nice, it's breezy. There's a good crowd coming in. I am in the end zone, which is opposite the ship. Just looking up the check. And I hope that everybody enjoys the draft tonight and participates with the Animal. God bless our troops.
All right, that's Peter Galens joining us, giving a report earlier tonight as the Bucks get ready for the draft tonight. They're doing the national anthem, and then the draft will get underway in just a few minutes. But as we told you, the Lamar Jackson deal is done. And by the way, you notice the animal has a different look right now. And, you might want to comment on that as well. See what you think of the new look. Lauren, are you back there, son? Lauren. Hello, Lauren. Yeah, Lauren, yeah, I know. Put the pieces down, okay? Lauren Meadow joins us on this edition of Animal Football Insider. Are you with me? I can see you. Okay, I should know. I can see you. Might want to unmute yourself.
Hello?
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? You can't hear me?
No.
I don't know why you wouldn't be able to hear me. Hello. Well, I tell you what. Why don't you try? Let Lauren Meadows work out his kinks, and we're going to rejoin him in just a few minutes. I can see you, so maybe he's going to log off. He'll log back on very well in just a few minutes. Now, we're going to be on throughout the course of the evening, and hopefully we'll be able to bring you, a little bit of my perspective on what I think the Bucs are going to do, how they would do, and this is probably the most anticipated draft that we have seen in a long time. Let's see here. Vince Rossi says, "Who's going first, Joe?" That's a very good question, Vince. I think. Oh, by the way, speaking of which, let me get this up real quick. Okay. And that's a list on the bottom of your screen. That's a list of draft picks. I'm going to try and update that as tonight goes on. There's a lot of great players, and I think that by far, Bryce Smith is the best player in the draft right now, only by this much, because the talent gap between these guys is so little. It's not that much of a difference. At least in my opinion. I don't think there's a big difference between a Bryce Young or a Kyle Trask or a Anthony Richardson. At least from a talent standpoint. Okay, Bryce has a national championship. Yes, you can talk about that. And maybe that's what gets him the edge in winning in his quest to possibly win a national championship. But it's just crazy. It's just crazy, to think that Bryce is head and shoulders above the rest. He's won a Heisman Trophy, yes, there's no question about that. But he's worth the best number one overall pick. I would think Will Anderson would be, or Nolan Smith, okay? Because they're defensive guys that really get at it, If you're going to have a number one draft pick, you should have somebody that has an overall, who's dominant overall, both offensively, defensively, special teams, And Bryce is great. I'm not going to doubt him of his talents. I just don't know if he's worthy of being the overall number one draft pick. He's not as tall as everybody thinks, Let's see here. So it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here down the stretch. Now, more on the Lamar Jackson deal. And the thing about Lamar Jackson you have to understand is that he didn't have an agent. He worked out this contract on his own along with his mom. Okay. And so in the process, he was able to sign for a 5-year deal with $260 million. $180 million of that is guaranteed. And his mom was so supportive that he gave her $7.8 million to his mom to, quote, keep it in the family. So, I mean, I think it's a great move. Is a tricky move? I don't know. We'll see what happens. Speaking of guys that are tricky in their own rights, a guy that likes to eat caviar behind people's back, but that's fine. That's fine. What you know, that's how it is. Can you hear me now, my brother?
I can. I got you loud and clear.
You can hear me. All right. Okay, so here's what we're doing tonight. I thought we'd do an NFL draft, and have people on talk about, give analysis on who you think it's going to be the number one draft pick, or, as we go through the process in the draft. And, of course, I think we'll have other things to talk about. I don't know. I mean, something about the Florida Gators. I don't know. I think there are things that we can talk about as long as you're able to join me. I know the time. So when you have to get off, that's fine. But I appreciate the company. Lauren Meadows, who's a senior writer for Gatorade Magazine, does a great job along with Buddy Martin, and he's going to join us here tonight. So we're about 4 minutes away from the start of the NFL draft. This is probably one of the most anticipated drafts that we have seen in a long time, Lauren, because, quite frankly, everybody's saying there's going to be Bryce Young, but there is no overall number one consensus.
No, not at all. You look at the quarterbacks, you would say the top four would be obviously Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Will Levis, and then obviously someone who's close to the hearts of you and I for sure, Anthony Richardson.
I can't remember his name, just
and and then you have you got Jalen Carter from Georgia, who's in the mix there, and and it kind of trickles from there. I mean, but there's no definite a couple offensive linemen obviously will probably go in the first round, but it's just this year it's a historically weak receiver draft, which last year was kind of historically weak QB draft. So in the last 2 years, when's the last time we had 2 years where there really weren't any great, quarterbacks or receivers in that group and that kind of thing. So, I mean, it looks like the Panthers will go with Bryce Young. Obviously there's some concerns about the height and the stature and things like that, but I think as the games evolve, that's kind of gone away a little bit. But and then obviously, some things come. It's always something, with CJ Stroud and his Wonderlic score and some things with, he was supposed to show up to the Manning Passing Academy and he didn't, and he came out and refuted that. So
would you mind? Okay, for the people that are joining us, go into details about this S2 thing. I mean, this is something I never heard of. Is this a part of the Wonderlic score? Is that what this is?
I think, and I'm with you. And excuse me,
I never heard of it.
Yeah, I've been out of the country for a couple weeks, so I'm kind of playing catch up. But what I assume it is the Wonderlic, or the version of the Wonderlic that the NFL is using now. And from whatever his score was, it was a historically low score, and that's supposed to be able to. It's almost like it's not an emotional intelligence, but it's almost like an ability to process information in different ways, which they equate to particularly how quarterbacks can, read defenses, process information, handle a certain amount of information and regurgitate it in a short amount of time, things like that. I did way back when I was still coaching, I took the Wonderlic. I can't remember what my score was, but our coaching staff took the Wonderlic, and I can't remember how it is, but our head coach, who was a former quarterback, and I do remember, did extremely well on the test. So, I just think it's one of those things where, you can always talk about this thing being an exact science, and, you could ask oneself, I think it's more important to see what kind of guy you're going to be in the locker room, how you're going to anticipate, or how you're going to get along with your coaches, other people in the organization. And, for instance, I think Aaron Rodgers had a huge Wonderlic score, but I think Aaron Rodgers is an asshole. So, it's like, which one would you rather have? And,
I know.
that kind of thing.
And that whole deal. And for those that are not aware by now, Aaron Rodgers signed with the New York Jets. That deal finally got concluded, and it was just, crazy how that whole thing came about. And I know that in some minds, Packer fans have to be disappointed and all, but Aaron Rodgers has to do what Aaron Rodgers has to do. So I don't know what to think about that. Now let me explain to you what we have. We have a crawler underneath. That is the first round. That is the first round picks. I'm projecting Bryce Young to go number 1 quarterback from Alabama to be the overall number 1 pick. I'm going to update that as we go along in the process, and Lauren will be talking, so we don't have a pause. So
Sure.
give his analysis on what's going on, and maybe sometime during the night we'll talk a little bit about the Florida Gators, what's going on with them. They got done with spring practice, and they've started the next phase of their off-season workouts. But tonight, Billy Napier, he's in Kansas City in the draft. I saw him a little while ago on TV with the orange tie. So I kind of knew he was going to be there for Anthony. And, of course, for his buddy O'Cyrus Torrence, who's also going to be a first-round selection.
Mm-hmm.
Let me throw this out at you. I was talking with a good friend of mine earlier tonight, very knowledgeable in the field of football and all. And I made the comment that do you think that O'Cyrus Torrence might be a selection for the Buccaneers? His comment was that they've always signed a guard to fill that position. Of course, O'Cyrus plays guard, but couldn't they play both guard and tackle? I mean, isn't O'Cyrus one of those guys can be kind of like in baseball, a switch hitter?
And
be honest. No, please be honest. Please be honest about
it. As far he would maybe at right tackle, maybe, but obviously not as a left tackle. He's just not. If you see him, he's a huge human being, but he doesn't have necessarily the length. He's really your prototypical guard. I mean, he really is. He says he's got that wide mid drift. I mean, he really is a prototypical guard. So
that's interesting.
Now you'll have to, like I said, I don't necessarily follow the Bucs, but obviously he could play right or left guard. So if they, he could play either guard position. So if they did sign a guard, maybe they could play him at the other guard, or, I don't know if they have 2 veteran guards now. And, obviously they're going to try and go, in another direction, maybe try to get a tackle. But O'Cyrus Torrence, I mean, he's built like a guard. I mean, he's got that, doesn't have really long arms. They're more kind of stout kind of arms to get up in you real quick and things like that in the interior and that kind of thing. So, that's kind of the way he kind of is your prototypical guard.
Throughout the night, some of the things that we're going to do also, I'll be occasionally getting on Twitter, finding out any news that we have about any picks that we think is going to be happening here. Per Greg Allman of The Atlantic, he writes, at $52 million a year, $52 million a year, unbelievable. At $52 million, Lamar Jackson is the highest paid player in the NFL history with his new Ravens deal. But like Jalen Hurts, his stay as highest paid might not last too long. That's interesting, and he has more on the Atlantic. 50, 50 $52 billion a year. Jesus, that's about as much as Buddy Martin makes in one month with Gator. I'm sorry, I just can't fathom that.
Well, I mean, I think if you look at the way that the game has grown, how global the game has become, they're talking. I think they're. Did I see they're going to be playing in Paris this year or
Yeah.
somewhere, Germany or somewhere? And I mean, just the game continues to grow. The amount of money that with them switching from DirecTV to YouTube and YouTube TV with the package, just the amount of people they're going to be able to reach now through the streaming platforms and things like that. It's just crazy. And I think that, we all would, I work for a company. My company just got sold for $1 billion, and I would love to get a piece of that billion, So you look as employees, we would all love the revenue share that the players enjoy. I think it's like 49.5% or something like that. And, I mean, that's just where the game is gone. I mean, there's so much money now where a team is worth 2.5, 3 to $4 billion. And hardest position in sports to probably play is NFL quarterback. And now those guys are being, they're being compensated accordingly.
Okay, we talked about Billy Napier being in Kansas City. I wanted to quickly show you a picture of this. If I can enlarge this, you can see that. That's Billy Napier taking a selfie of himself in Kansas City with the orange tie, gray suit, and all. The man's ready. Hey, what can we say?
Well, you better get to the draft and then get back here and find him some players because been some people leaving. So
you know what? And I was going to get and I was going to get with you and talk to you about that. Draft is about ready to begin here. Hold on, Lauren. Let's get the official thing about the NFL draft.
Friends on stage with me that you might recognize. They are Kansas City natives and love this community.
Okay, so Goodell's doing an introduction, then he'll announce that the NFL draft will be officially underway here in just a couple of minutes. Let's dive into some Gator stuff here real quick. We've seen some guys leave Florida. Some guys are trying to enter. What is going on?
Well, I'm going to say it's the new normal. And I keep saying that because I think I have to just keep saying that until we get a handle on this thing. I think that this is what you're going to see from now on. The days that you and I are used to where our favorite player, somebody we kind of got in tune with, being there for 4 years is just not, and it's going to be a myriad of different reasons. Whether they get homesick or they just look up and say, you know what, I've been down here. Florida is hot. Hey, I'm gonna go check out the West Coast, and I'm gonna go play out there, or I'm gonna go and I wonder what it'd really be like to play for Deion Sanders and be under him. So I'm gonna go check that out. And now they have the freedom to do so, and I think that that's just kind of where we are now. I was kind of surprised with the Xavier Henderson.
I was sure with that. Well, what's up with that?
I'm not sure. And the only thing I could say is, it could be NIL motivated. His brother is in. I think is in Charlotte playing for the Carolina Panthers.
Right.
I thought he would maybe try to go, but I just with them hiring Billy Gonzalez back, I was really surprised to see Xavier Henderson, enter the transfer portal. And maybe it was the type of offense. I know they kind of used him as that what I call the wasted runner, that wasted motion that Billy Napier seems to like. they used Henderson a lot with that, and maybe he was just like, hey, I want to be more involved. So, there could be a relationship, because I've heard that the Miami Hurricanes are in play. Obviously, that's where he's from, and so could be a situation there where he goes back closer to home and lives out the Miami life. They've got a new offensive coordinator, and maybe, but the couple practice I was able to go to, because I was dealing with some things on a personal level in March, so it was tough to get to practice. But the few practices I went to, he was very, looked to really have taken the next step. He and Pearsall looked like they were going to be a decent 1-2 punch here in the SEC. And then while I was on vacation, I look up at my phone and saw that he was transferring. So, just really surprised by his transfer for sure.
Lauren Meadows joining us on this edition of on a very special edition of Animal Football Insider NFL Draft Edition. The draft is officially underway, and the Carolina Panthers are on the clock. They had the first overall pick. They did it through a trade with the Bears. They traded away their second 2023 pick, this year's first-round pick, and a couple of other selections. They are on the clock right now. As we come to you tonight, Lauren, who is your selection? Who you think is going to be in the? Who's going to be? Who do you think is going to be the selection?
I think it's going to be Bryce Young.
Yeah, I do too. I'm trying to do something here, so something's happened here. There we go. Yeah, I do too. I think it's gonna be Bryce Young. I don't see any other choice. Although they could be talking trade. Here's the thing. When you have all day to think about what you're going to do, don't think for one moment the teams are not calling and say, hey, GM, would you be interested in trading for this?
Absolutely.
I'm sure throughout the day they've been taking phone calls left and right.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You wouldn't be doing your job as someone who's picking behind them, particularly if you need a quarterback or you covet another player. Maybe you covet a Jalen Carter, up front, or another player, and you want to try to get up in that. But like you said, it's not as much as a fluid situation this year because it's just not a clear cut, it's not a clear cut, can't miss kind of guy. So, you may not have as much, but obviously I'm sure they fielded calls for sure. And were continuously calling and trying to get as much information on whatever picks they think they were going to go with. Making phone calls as well, so I'm sure if they are going to go with Bryce Young, they did another phone call out to Nick Saban or, whoever.
Right. By the way, the other picks that Carolina gave up, 2025 second round pick to the Bears, and also wide receiver DJ Moore. So that was a trade that caused Carolina to have the first overall pick. Why in the world would you want to trade when you can get a guy like Bryce Young? Those picks. That's fine, but when you have a talent like Bryce Young, Lauren, that's too hard to pass up.
Well, the thing with Bryce Young is I like Bryce Young, but it's basically, you're saying that, and maybe that's where we are now. Can a 5'10", 190-pound quarterback survive in this NFL? And if the answer is yes, then you go with Bryce Young, because as far as arm talent, the ability to move, throw on the run, I think he's a class young man, seems to, says all the right things, seems to do all the right things. And so, that's really what it comes down to. If he was 6'3", 210 pounds, he would be the
There'd be no
definite.
question. There definitely would not be a question. They had 5.5 minutes left to go on the clock for the Carolina Panthers. I think the pick may be in, but they haven't said it yet.
Mhm.
5'10". What's Anthony Richardson? 6'2", 6'3"?
At least, yeah, he might be about at least that.
Honestly and truthfully, what is the difference between a Bryce Young and Anthony Richardson besides winning a Heisman Trophy?
Polish. I mean, Bryce Young is just a more polished quarterback. He's more accurate. I think he knows where the ball needs to go. He's able to process information quicker, and that's right now. Now, could 5-10 years down the road, could we say that Anthony Richardson could be better than Bryce Young? Absolutely. But when it comes to just purely throwing the football, being in control of the offense that he was asked to run, and as my good friend Shane Matthews says, throwing completions, which is the name of the game, Bryce Young's just better at it,
Yeah,
right now.
that's true. That's a fairly good point to bring up. Usually, the Animal on Long Meadows. This is a very special edition, Animal Football Insider, NFL Draft Night edition. If you have a favorite team of yours and you want to come on and talk about your team as your pick, as your team is getting ready to pick, you're more than happy to join us throughout the course of the evening. It looks like the pick is in, as we saw where the people inside the war room were clapping. They haven't said the pick is in yet, but they have 3.5 minutes to go. So you tend to wonder why this pick has not been made yet. Oh God, you mentioned Shane Matthews. I feel so sorry for him and everything that's going on with that Orlando team and the USFL. What in the world is happening?
Yeah, did something else happen? I know they've had some coaching issues and things like that, but I know that this.
I have no idea what's going. I hardly follow it, but
right. Well,
I like to see a little bit.
I know going into the season, if you looked at them on paper, they probably were not going to be a very good football team. And then I think they had some guys that, from what I've observed, from an offensive standpoint, they were a little bit behind the curve. I think they've given Shane a little bit more responsibility, and as far as the offense is concerned, I think it's picked up since Shane kind of took more of an active role and things like that. And but other than that, just somebody got to be the worst team in the league, and right now it's Orlando. So,
so the pick is officially in right now. I'm going to kind of turn up the TV a little bit here, Lauren, if you don't mind, and see who they're going to pick.
Give that sort of confidence and
get that TV kind of like a level where we both can hear you and pick is in. Okay, here we go. Fans there. And by the way, this draft is coming from Kansas City, where they won the Super Bowl. Roger Goodell is up.
Carolina Panthers select Bryce Young.
Yep, Bryce Young is officially the first pick in the NFL draft. That is official now. Nick Saban is there with Bryce Young. Lauren Meadows, your thoughts?
Welcome to Charlotte. I guess I think that if you look at the Carolina Panthers, they started to play really good football under Steve Wilkes after they made the coaching change. They played hard. I think they've got some pieces in play. They'll have to go out and get him some people to throw to and things like that. But I think they're that could be their quarterback of the future right there.
Interesting moment. Interesting moment as Bryce Young was walking out. The first player that hugged him, none other than Anthony Richardson, giving him a
Ah,
nice hug. Yeah, he
right,
did.
right.
Of course, you can watch it on ABC TV, ESPN, or the NFL Network. But Bryce Young officially now is the number one pick from the University of Alabama, SEC baby. Oh man, I gotta tell you, and of course we got a lot. There's a lot more that's gonna be happening throughout the course of the night. Again, Lauren Meadows, you're truly the animal on this very special Thursday night edition of Animal Football Insider NFL Draft Edition, sponsored by my good friends at Carpet Direct of Des Moines, Iowa. For all your carpeting needs, give my good friend Benton Taylor a call and. Help you set your needs, and maybe I can get them to come down to Florida and help you with your carpeting needs. If you ever need any help there, my friend.
Absolutely.
So Bryce Young goes to number one, and Nick Saban has to be pleased by having an overall number one draft pick. Now it's possible another one can come up right behind him. Will Anderson, does he go to Houston, or does Houston pick another quarterback? Maybe C.J. Stroud. I mean, where does Houston go in this?
I would say Houston needs to go quarterback. They've got to go quarterback. I think.
Who would you? And by the way, if you're watching, want to comment, please push your comments in the chat room, and Lauren and I would try and answer them. Stroud, Levis, Richardson.
Stroud. Either I would go Richardson or Stroud. Although I'm just not sure Anthony's ready to play right away, so I would go.
I'm not either.
I think Stroud is more pro ready. I would not go Levis. I would draft Levis in the first round. If you ask me.
Talk. And I agree. And this is the thing that I've been. This is the thing that I've been talking about. First of all, let's talk about the number two pick. Then we're going to get into Anthony in just a minute. Now, this can go either. This can go either way. Texans could go defense with Will Anderson, or they could go offense with C.J. Stroud. Remember, the Texans have two picks in this draft. They have this one, and I believe they also have the number 12 selection in the NFL draft. Yes, 2 and 12 in the first round. Would it be safe to just go ahead and draft Will Anderson now and maybe a quarterback later on? Or would you get CJ?
Will your quarterback be there? Because after, I mean, who's your next? Who's your quarterback after? If you don't get Stroud, you don't get Levis, because somebody foolishly is going to take Levis, and you don't get Anthony, which I don't think Anthony's your answer right away. Who are you going to get at QB? You know who?
And we're going to talk about the Will Levis, the Anthony Richardson deal, and just because the Texas Houston has made their pick right away. I mean, Stroud, yeah, I think CJ Stroud is a fine quarterback. Now, is he worthy of the overall number 2 selection? What has CJ Stroud done that Anthony Richardson hasn't done? Both are equal in a lot of ways. They've taken their teams, huh?
I think if you just look at Stroud and you look at the last view of CJ Stroud we had is he basically put Ohio State on his back and almost beat the eventual national champion. I mean, if you look at his performance against Georgia and the way that he was able to actually show mobility that he hadn't shown all year, with the ability to run and some of the things, because that was one of the things, he was kind of a reluctant runner at Ohio State through most of his career. And then against Georgia, he actually showed some legs and things like that. And just like I said, the ability to consistently throw completions, I think, is what sets him apart. I mean, I would say, I think most people have Anthony as the 4th best quarterback. I would have him at the 3rd best in front of Will Levis. But I mean, C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young are the two, to me, the class of the quarterback class this year. I mean, I just think, if you look at just the overall body of work between those two, completion percentage, lack of turnovers, things like that, I just think that, if you're going to go quarterback here, it's going to be C.J. Stroud.
Roger, the Goodell is up right now, ready to make the pick.
The Houston Texans select C.J. Stroud.
Yep, Stroud's it. Very, very nice. Very nice. Very nice. You called it. Nice. I really thought that maybe that just maybe that just maybe they might take a look at Richardson or Will Levis. And as we go along with this, I'm updating the draft on the ticker as we go along, so I apologize for the pause right now. But CJ Stroud definitely goes to number 2 to the so let's see here. Yep, CJ Stroud, quarterback, goes to Ohio State. Now, third pick will go to Arizona. This becomes interesting where they're going to go with their selection here in just a minute. But back to Richardson. And I've said this all along. Anytime that you can make a lot of heyday with the NFL, with the NFL Combine, when you do the things that you've done, you definitely have made your mark in terms of how you want to be picked in the NFL draft. But Lauren, you can't help but go back and look at the things that this man has done. I mean, look at the way he handled the Kentucky game. Look at the way he handled the Missouri game when he had the 4 interceptions, I think, in that game. I mean, this is not just about I think people have to understand. This is not just about this is not just about your combine and the work that you've done and maybe made improvements, but this is about your game tape and what you have done during the course of the season. And make no mistake about it, NFL people do look at those tapes.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think they look at the tape, they look at the combine, they look at, the thing that I think has impressed, and I could be wrong, but you and I both know, I'm sure that in the interviews and things like that, and we even heard that Anthony Richardson had some of the best quarterback interviews that teams said they had ever had. I mean, he is a phenomenal young man. He's a good person. He's got a good heart. I think his teammates like him. I think he can rally in a locker room and all those things. His biggest thing is going to be to show at that level, which is the highest level, that he can consistently throw completions. I mean, that's and I think it's going to take him a little longer than the 2 young men that were drafted before him. But I mean, if you just took it, like I said, if his completion percentage was up around 70%, he probably would have been the number 1 pick in the draft. Why wouldn't he be? I mean, he's Lamar Jackson on steroids, So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I have no question in my mind about. I mean, I think you're perfectly right on that standpoint. I think I've heard somebody else talk about Anthony Richardson in that aspect. That yes, he's like a Lamar Jackson on steroids. I mean, there's really a lot of comparisons with Lamar Jackson, but you can't help but look at those games. You can't just do away with the game tapes and say, well, look at what he did with the NFL Combine. I think that shows a little bit of irresponsibility.
No. Yeah, and like I said, that's what I said. I mean, he is in some drafts he would be the 6th or 7th quarterback. It just happens here he's the 3rd or 4th quarterback. It's based on the classes. And like I said, you look at the tragedy that was the Kentucky game, even the Vanderbilt game at times, and some other games, and you look, he probably he himself probably cost them 3 football games. And, I mean, it's just the way it is. But, if you look at it, and I think a lot of the way that the pro teams are looking at it is you take a young man who's very raw from a football NFL standpoint, but very polished from an athleticism, those kind of standpoints, and you put him in an organization where it's 24/7 football. And most people think that if you can do football and football only for the next, 7 to 10 years, you got yourself a pretty good pro.
Okay, so we're watching this. Arizona has 1 minute and 25 seconds to go. They have not made their selection yet. They have not. No pick has been made yet. I'm on Twitter looking, and I do not see anywhere where there is talk. I mean, this is interesting. This is very interesting here. So, okay, so Arizona's made their pick. Huh? What?
They won't go quarterback, that's for sure.
I think they go defensive lineman with Will Anderson. That's my opinion.
Yeah, probably so.
Oh, wait a minute. We have a trade. This just in the trade. I'm hearing that it might be Houston again.
Okay.
This may be Houston again. Hang on here. Boys, this just got interesting, okay? Oh, wow, they did. They traded it to Houston. Wow.
So the Cardinals traded it to Houston.
They traded, yeah. I don't know the details. They traded it. Wow.
Houston trying to get after it.
Yeah. They're not going quarterback, that's for sure. I'm predicting Will Anderson.
Will Anderson or Jalen Carter, 1 of 2.
They had to have traded the 12th pick.
Oh, no,
they had to have traded that 12th pick.
And probably next year's first, maybe.
Yeah. So we're listening on ABC to the draft as the picks come in. We're going to relay them to you.
The Arizona Cardinals have traded the 3rd pick to the Houston Texans. With the 3rd pick in the 2023 draft, the Houston Texans select Will Anderson.
I told you, yep, Will Anderson.
Alabama.
Will Anderson goes to the Texans. Lauren.
Okay.
Wow. So Will Anderson goes to the Texans. We'll get details on the trade.
Houston's winning the draft.
Yeah, let's see. He's a linebacker from Alabama. I thought he was a defensive lineman. I don't know why that.
He plays he's like an outside 3-4 defensive lineman. So outside backer.
Gotcha.
Like a 3-4 edge guy.
All right. Oh, shoot. Okay. Oh. Great. So I screwed this up here just a minute. 3. I have my 4. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So Indianapolis is coming up. Okay. I got my little ticker mixed up, so that's why there's a delay. Okay, there we go. Bryce Young, number 1. C.J. Stroud, 2. Texans. Trey from the Cardinals. Williamson, linebacker from Alabama. Fourth is the Colts. And now this is where we find out, does Anthony Richardson get selected?
4, 5, and 6 is where I think he could go. If you look at where all three of those situations could be decent situations for him.
Right. 4 is going to be the Indianapolis Colts. 5, Seattle Seahawks. 6
behind Geno Smith there. 6 is the Lions. I like the Lions. I told somebody months ago that I thought he'd be a great pick for the Lions. I think that's a
why not? Situation. Why not? It'd be Motor City. Not a lot of media, not a lot of expectations. He can go there and learn.
You got Golf. You got Golf, who's got probably 2 or 3 more good years. Had a decent season. You got a pro as a head coach. You got a lot of former NFL players on the coaching staff. I mean, a lot of guys with NFL experience on the coaching staff, and he's indoors. So that big arm can really stand out indoors. That's
a great point. And Detroit's been needing a quarterback for years. I think Anthony could fit it perfectly. I don't think Anthony can handle.
Now you got to go play. You got to go play Chicago and Green Bay. You got to do that.
But look. At least he's not on a. He's not in what do you call it when in Seattle where the altitude is high.
Are you talking about Denver and all the places where the
altitude? Yeah. Well, I mean, I think him not going there. I mean,
Well, I like him with Pete Carroll though too. I think that'd be a good situation.
I have been hearing a lot. I have been hearing a lot and lots of conversation about. I've been hearing lots and lots of conversation about him going to Seattle. So that conversation has been very high. By the way, while we're sitting here tonight, we have just a couple of minutes here. You can see me, right?
Yeah.
Do you know?
I see you with the chops. I see you.
Yeah. You like that, huh? I thought I kind of should, make that debut. I'm surprised nobody's even commented on that. So,
Oh, yeah.
But
I see you.
But we did have Vince commenting on something a little bit earlier. So
the misses like it. That's the question.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about it. I have it going out. I have it going out pretty good, but she wants me to let it go out more so it gets softer. Okay. I got you. But see, here's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to adapt the Billy Napier look. You know what I'm saying? Okay. You see. Okay. Only thing I got to do is shave the head, get it. That's how Napier is. And I'm going to be going to Missouri for the Columbia, Missouri for their game this year. Because I'm not that far away. Hopefully, if you're going too, maybe we can get together too. I don't know if you're
going. If I come out there, I will be coming there in a media capacity only. The wife won't be with me, so we'll definitely.
I don't care. I mean, if you're coming, let me know. And
yeah.
I'd love to get together with you and Scott Carter.
Absolutely.
I know Scott. Scott and I, we go back a long ways.
Yeah.
And of course, ESPN's talking with Nick Pabin. Pabin. Yeah. I hate him. I can't stand him. But damn, he's one hell of a good coach.
Oh yeah, he can coach. Mm-hmm. He definitely knows what he's doing.
Oh my, pick is in. So here we go.
With the fourth pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, The Indianapolis Colts select Anthony.
Yes! 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 Anthony Richardson goes number 4 to the Indianapolis Colts. I'm ecstatic. I am just ecstatic for him. That is just tremendous. Hey, let me do this. Let me get the ticker update. While you do that, tell the people a little bit about Anthony Richardson, please.
Well, I mean, what you're getting is arguably the most athletic quarterback in NFL history. I mean, if you look at the numbers, top to bottom, someone who has a huge upside. His upside is as high as anybody, from a Michael Vick to a Cam Newton. Quality young man, should be great in the locker room. Indianapolis is a city that's got kind of a Gainesville feel to it. I think he'll be able to, kind of get in the sports scene there. They love their Colts, and I think I don't know who he'll. I think I'm not sure who they have there that can kind of take him under the wing, but obviously one of the top franchises in the NFL as far as ownership, things like that, family-run organizations, so great facilities, so I think he'll, be interesting.
I think the pick fit. I think it fits well for him. It's not a high media conglomerate. I mean, it's not like New York City or anything like that. I think he has a very good shot at winning the competition. I don't know who. I forget who the other quarterbacks are there right now. Excuse me, but still, just gives him an opportunity to maybe actually get the job on opening day. I'm not sure, but
I'm looking it up right now.
I want you to look it up for me. He's the highest quarterback to be drafted from Florida in the history of Florida. He's the highest quarterback drafted. Am I not mistaken on that? Or did Steve Spurrier go 1 in 69 or 70?
Spurrier went 2 or 3, maybe. Not sure.
Let's kind of look this up. Let's kind of
so at quarterback they've got right now. They've got Ellinger, Nick Foles, and Gardner Minshew. So
yeah. Let's see.
I think Spurrier might have been the second pick, wasn't he?
He was. 49ers picked him up in the first round of the NFL draft in 1967. Let's see. Okay, so hang on just a second here. Hang on just a second.
He was the third pick.
Spurrier, 67?
Yep, third pick.
Wow. So let's see here. So Richardson. Let's see. Wow. So he ties Steve Spurrier for the highest rated quarterback and highest rated player ever drafted from the University of Florida. Although that's from a quarterback's perspective, but something tells me Wilbur Marshall in 1983 drafted by the Chicago Bears overall number 1. Ooh. What makes you most proud of Anthony? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Wilbur Marshall?
Yeah, let's see.
Wilbur Marshall was pick 11.
He was pick 11?
Pick 11.
Highest Florida player drafted.
How is this affecting you right now?
Let's see.
Wasn't John Reed number 1?
What? Highest Florida Stone Forsyth. What the hell is that? No, that's wrong.
No.
Let's see. Let's see here.
Congratulations.
Highest draft pick.
We will be back from the
Okay,
NFL
it doesn't
draft.
say. I mean, let's see here.
And it's just getting started.
Let's see the last 30 first round picks. Well, Kyle Pitts was drafted number 4 a couple years ago by
If you go back, it looks like that there was a running back named Chuck Hunsinger and another running back, Paul Duhart. They were second picks overall. So the highest is ever a second pick.
To hit refresh, to be buttoned up, to feel your best and look it. By using
what the heck? Yeah, I'm hearing.
It's time to look for.
I mean, let's
So
see
that's
here.
the highest. So two running backs went second overall in the 50s, in the 40s and 50s.
I'll be darned. Huh. Let's see here. Yeah.
And then Spurrier and Richardson, or Spurrier's number 3.
Kyle got drafted 23 by Buffalo 2022.
Wes Chandler and Steve Spurrier went third overall.
That's right. Yes, Wes Chandler went through. That's who I'm talking about. Mike Pouncey went 15 in his draft. Percy Harvin went 22. Rex Grossman, he was a low baller. In the modern era, Wes Chandler went third overall pick in the 1978 draft.
Gerard Warren went third in 2001.
Oh wow.
So 3. So we got 3 guys at number 3, 2 guys.
4, Dante. 4. Dante Fowler.
That's right. Yep, Fowler.
Fowler went. Wow. But no players ever went number 1. No players that has ever went number 1. Wow, unbelievable! Wow, unbelievable! That's amazing. That's good as Florida, talent as the Florida talent is, that they don't go no higher than number 3 in the NFL draft out of the first round. That just bogs my mind. Seahawk pick is in just a minute here. I mean, I'm happy for Anthony. I'm extremely happy for Anthony. But this has got to be a long-term project. This is not 1 year and then you're in the NFL. You're starting in the NFL.
I mean, at number 4, man, you almost have to go in and say you think he's going to be your number 1 pick, your guy right away. I mean, he's the 4th pick. You almost got to play him right away.
Yeah. And here's what's interesting. What else coming up with the 4th overall selection one? Hang on.
23 NFL draft. The Seattle Seahawks select Devin Witherspoon, quarterback, Illinois.
Wow. Seattle just went corner and Devin Witherspoon from Illinois.
Ooh.
Wow. What is that all about?
I mean, Witherspoon, I mean, he's a baller, but I mean, a corner, I would never take a corner at number 4 unless it's named Deion Sanders.
I mean,
you got to get that day one. I mean, he's got to be a day one lockdown kind of player. I mean, no doubt about it.
I mean, okay, so we, how we talk about how there's just stupid, surprising picks in the draft. This What's in front of them? Oh. I mean, here's the deal, and we're talking about Witherspoon and Witherspoon, but let's go back to this. Richardson decides to leave. He decides that he's going to bet on himself and enter the NFL draft. Okay, he has one hell of an NFL draft. They put him at a top 5. I'm like, no, it's not going to happen. Sure enough, he bets on himself. He's going to get a multi-million-dollar deal. I mean, This is a story. This is a story unlike any other. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Please talk.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that, like you said, I mean, obviously he didn't come out to not be a first-round pick. Somebody definitely told him, we will draft you in the first round. And then I think when people really took a back seat and really sat back and looked at just how athletically gifted he was, I think he went from what people thought maybe was a late first rounder into like the top 20. And then it kind of grew from there. And, you know, like I said, I had him as the 3rd best quarterback in the draft, and there he was. You know, I mean, I just think he's, you know, like you said, if you turn on the game tape doesn't speak to you on a consistent basis, but he's definitely a person that I think his best football is still ahead of him, you know, and that's what you got to do. I mean, you got to go with the fact that his best football could still be ahead of him. So.
It's like, you know, I'm happy for Anthony. I hope I'm wishing him nothing but the best. I hope he does well. And wow, I'm just kind of flabbergasted by all this. So Devin Witherspoon goes to number 5 to Seattle. But in all the projections that I saw, I did not see him as a top 15 person. I wonder what Seattle saw in him that was different.
What now?
Devin Witherspoon. I mean, I don't know what you saw that was different. I mean, I did not see him as a top 15 kind of guy. Maybe I'm wrong though.
Well, I mean, he's, you know, you know, like I said, it goes from year to year, and he definitely was the number 1 rated quarterback. Had 14 pass breakups. He's definitely a cover guy. He's not necessarily a overly physical guy, but he's got a great feel for the ball. You know, obviously playing in the Big Ten, they've got some decent receivers in that league. And, you know, he held his own on, you know, what turned out to be a pretty good defense at the University of Illinois. And, you know, I mean, he's, you know, like I said, I'm not sure I'll take him at 5. I think the Seahawks had other needs, but, you know, I guess they wanted to grab somebody they thought that they could hang their hat at corner on for about the next 7 to 8 years. And that's the best corner in the draft right now, you know.
Couple other things that are happening tonight. We're going to keep you updated throughout the night. Lightning are taking on Toronto. They're up 2-1 after the first intermission. Rays are taking on the White Sox. We'll have a report on that here in just a minute. By the way, that's the hockey game is after the second intermission. Have you been watching hockey at all?
Not much. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I used to follow the Pittsburgh Penguins. I guess you could say that's my team, you know, but I don't follow it, you know, as much as I probably should. Not at all, really. I mean, you know, not really. That's the one sport I don't really follow that much.
Interesting. And Lightning are on the brink of being eliminated. They're down 3-1, so they need a big win tonight in order to just take it.
And just for reference for people, you know, Anthony Richardson will sign a contract that will be worth around $34.5 million this total.
Yeah, but that's not this year. I mean, they have to sign a rookie contract before they get.
That's his the total value of his rookie deal will be about $34.5 million.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
So we talk about probably a 3 to 4 year deal. He'll be that'll be so so let's say come to about close to $9 million a year, 8.2, something like that a year.
Okay, so now Arizona's on the clock. They have moved up. Wow. Let's see here. I got to edit this. Let's see. The Lions were supposed to be on the clock, but now it's going to be Arizona. That's interesting. That's interesting. Let's see who they get. All right, so
I may have to cut out on you. I just with all the happening, Buddy just dialed in. I may have to
really. All right. Well, you have to go. And you want to join? I'm going to be on until they put out their pick. If you want to join me back on later on, go ahead. I get it. But right. Arizona is traded with Detroit, so Arizona's going to be on the clock. So if you have to go, I get it. Thank you for joining me. Yeah, if you want to join me back later on and talk a little bit more, go ahead. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Go ahead though. We can keep going.
Okay. Arizona's traded. Arizona traded. Arizona dropped down to 12. Now they're back up to 6, and they traded with the Detroit Lions. Arizona's on the clock. Let's see who they get real quick.
To the Arizona Cardinals. With the 6th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Paris Johnson Jr.
Paris Johnson Jr., offensive tackle from Ohio State. That's who they get.
Great moment.
Wow.
Gotta protect the QB.
Yep. I mean, let's see. So that's Paris Johnson, offensive tackle, Ohio State. Wow. Unbelievable. Arizona's coming to play. They mean business.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now that's the way it is. And Arizona gave up another pick. I don't know which one it was. We'll find out later on what that is. Hey, listen, thank you so much for joining me. If you have some free time, want to join me later on, just hit me up to Facebook and we'll talk.
All righty.
And tell
Buddy man, as always.
Oh man, tell Buddy the animal said hello. And I'm trying to get an interview with him too. So
I got you. I promise.
Help me with that. Okay.
I got you. No, I got you. It's gonna happen.
All right, brother. Thank you. All right. Thanks, man.
Okay.
All right. Lon Meadows joining us for a little bit on this edition of Animal Football Insider, and hopefully he'll join us a little bit later on. So Arizona makes a trade. So we're going to see what happens there. I like how they do it. They take the player into a room. He tries on his hat with a mirror. They got a camera. They look at it. That's pretty cool. I am curious to what Arizona gave up. I'm curious to what what they gave up. So let's see here. Let's see here. All right. I'm stunned. By the way, for Arizona, they get choice. Arizona moves up to 12th. Arizona moves up for the 6th, and they give up their 12th pick in this year's draft, and also pick number 34 in the draft as well. I mean, as I'm looking at it, Okay, so the other trade that Arizona did with Houston when they moved up to number 3, excuse me, they give up. They Cardinals will get the 12th pick. All right, so the Cardinals, when they traded with Texas, Texas moved down. The Texans moved down to 12. Oh, wait a minute. How does this work? This is weird. Because this is big. This is big. All right, for Arizona, for the Texans to move up, they gave up the 12th pick in this year's draft. They also gave up pick number 33, a 2024 first-round pick, and a 2024 third-round pick. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Unfreaking believable. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. And a friend of mine just happened to talk about the AFC South, the quarterbacks that are in there. Let's see. Trevor Lawrence with the Jags. The Texans have C.J. Stroud. Indianapolis with Anthony Richardson. And who knows what the Titans are going to do. I mean, that's pretty amazing. So I tell you what, let me take a little breather, okay? And we got some time here. Let me take a little breather, and we're going to be right back. So I shall return. Okay, back with you. Thanks a lot. So the Raiders are on the clock. Let's see here. Raiders are on the clock. Waiting to see what they're going to do. Will Levis. See what happens here. Could this be Hendon Hooker? I mean, given the fact that he won't be able to play till mid-season, are the Raiders willing to put a price on that? You're hearing Tom McShay on the ABC telecast. Goodell makes his way out to the stage.
With the 7th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Tyree Wilson, defensive end.
Wow, Raiders went defensive end Tyree Wilson with in Texas Tech. All right.
Texas A&M. Texas A&M, they're redshirting there. Anyone on the field in 2019, yeah, they had sacks, 3 tackles for loss. Goes to Texas Tech.
So Raiders went defense with the first selection in the draft. I would have thought that maybe they wanted to go get a quarterback, but I guess they didn't feel like Will Levis or the Hendon Hooker was worth it. Now, let me tell you what becomes interesting, folks. Okay? As we do this, okay? We're going to see Will Levis, and we're going to also see Hendon Hooker slide. Okay? Now, at what point do the Buccaneers say maybe we need to move up and get Bijan Robinson here? Atlanta's up. I mean Robinson, Bijan Robinson, he could go to Atlanta, but I don't think so. I think it's going to either be Will Levis, could be Hendon Hooker. They got to go to a quarterback. Okay? Kind of texting with a friend of mine here, thinking he thinks that Bijan Robinson is going to go to the Falcons. I don't see it. I don't see it. I honestly believe Falcons are going to go after Levis. Or maybe even Jalen Carter. I just can't see Atlanta get Bijan Robinson. They have greater needs than running back. It's truly the Animal coming at you on this edition of Animal Football Insider. By the way, if there's any guys that want to come on and talk football, just hit me up through Facebook chat. More than happy to join you. We'll talk about it. Let's see here. And, back to the Richardson deal. I know where people are coming from. I know that he just did lights out with the combine. But, hopefully for Indianapolis, they put him in position to where they can fix his mechanics a little bit. I mean, Richardson has all the God-given talent in the world, But I just think Richardson's going to be a 1-2 year project. But then again, as Lauren said earlier, $34 million. Wow. It's going to be amazing. So let's see here. So we think Bijan Robinson is going to go. Let's see here. Let me get my Twitter here. So.
ZipRecruiter, rated the #1 hiring site. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/get.
I always hear you kids talking about this is fire, that's fire, anything was fire. Conditioning.
Everybody knows that's
Don't have anything new. I'm hearing some things floating around that Robinson has been okay. Sources from Twitter's reporting Bijan Robinson's going to be the number 8 pick. Any hopes of Buccaneers grabbing a running back just went down the tubes. Darn. Wow. I love Bijan Robinson. I love the way that man moves. Wow. So Bijan Robinson is going to be the next pickup. Usually the animal in this edition of Animal Football Insider. And that's a good pick for them.
For the Atlanta Falcons pick, I'm joined by Chris and Shane from Big Brothers Big Sisters of Kansas City. Chris and Shane are a true testament to the power of mentorship. The NFL and its teams work closely with Big Brothers Big Sisters of America as part of our work on social justice through our initiative Inspired Change. The Falcons are big-time supporters of the organization, and they're thrilled to have Chris and Shane making their pick. Okay, guys, take it away.
With the 8th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Bijan Robinson, running back from Texas.
Wow. So it is official. Bijan Robinson is the pick for the Atlanta Falcons. And you got to wonder now, what is Jason Light and Todd Bowles thinking? I mean, I'm sure they knew that this was going to happen, but now they have to figure out how to combat that. So now you forget about the quarterback position, and you think about maybe the Buccaneers grabbing a defensive end. You know, I mean, it just makes it interesting. You know, because really, truthfully, they do need a running back. And some person said he has a Breece Hall and Saquon Barkley combination. He does. Guy's really good. Really, really, really good. Now, is he good enough to break through the Buccaneers defensive? You know? I don't know. Your thoughts and comments in the chat room, please. Give some insights. I'd love for you guys to. I want you to know what you guys think. You know. Usually the animal on this edition of the Animal Football Insider, coming at you from the confines of West Des Moines, Iowa. Brought to you by the fine people of Carpet Direct for all your carpeting needs. Give my buddy Ben Taylor a call. Be happy to set you up. Eagles have not wasted any time. Their pick is up. Their pick is up next. So we'll find out here in just a minute where the Eagles go. It's not going to be a quarterback, that's for sure. Eagles are not going to draft a quarterback. No, that ain't going to happen. Especially with the contract that they just gave to Jalen Hurts. Wow. It's crazy. You know? I mean, you think about it now. The Falcons have London Fletcher, Desmond Ridder, quarterback, Kyle Pitts, wide tight end, Robinson. I mean, that's not too shabby. So now, what do the Buccaneers do when they come up with their selection? Nolan Smith, defensive end from Georgia. We're going to find out in just a few minutes.
Another childhood dream comes true. How does this all tie back to the Granddad Trio?
Oh, man. Well, first of all, I should say, give all the guys
What's in my coat here? I have no freaking idea.
He's so ecstatic right now, and just doing it with him and being a part with him, it's so incredible, so amazing. But we just celebrating with them and see what he says.
You've already been doing community work in Austin. What should the Atlanta community know about what they're getting in Bijan Robinson?
Oh, I mean, they're just such a positive guy. Obviously, loves football, but also helps to see.
Okay. Don't know how that got in there. Whatever. Oh, man.
Welcome to the NFL.
Mojuson sending in his best. Getting ready for final game prep tomorrow night when they take on Massachusetts. Waiting to see who the Eagles pick up. Everybody says it could be Jalen Carter out of Georgia. We know the pick is in. Would be funny if they picked they had a bad selection. Imagine what Eagle fans would do. I mean,
The Chicago Bears have traded the 9th pick to the Philadelphia Eagles. With the 9th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Jalen Carter.
All right, so Jalen Carter does go to Philadelphia. The Bears traded this pick. I did not know that. I did not know that the Bears had traded this pick. So, let me, all right, so this is,
Philadelphia Eagles went back and forth on this pick. And Drew Rosenhaus, the agent, called Howie Roseman today to begin to try to work with on the phone with the Eagles to try to convince them. In this process, the Eagles were not thinking of Jalen Carter. When the board fell the way it did, he was the one player there that they loved, and they decided to give one slot to try to take him.
so the Eagles get Jalen Carter, the Bears. Hang on. All right. All right. Hang on. My mistake. So this was a trade earlier in the year. Okay, so this was the Bears. Thought it was. My bad. And Bears get Jalen Carter. I'm trying to get my ticker updated. Apologize. Now the Eagles are supposed to be next. You're sure the animal joining you on this edition of Animal Football Insider. Doing my analysis of the NFL draft.
On the young man's face. It means something to him. So whatever happens off the field, let's hope the organization is clear. We talk about the structure. They can take care of this young man because he's got that type of potential.
Hang on a minute. So the ninth pick. All right, ninth pick. Okay. I'm sorry. So there was something that went wrong here. All right. Eagles and Bears let you switch because Eagles just made their selection for Jalen Carter. Sorry about that, folks.
How would you describe just the range of emotions that you've gone through over the last few months?
I don't know. It's a lot. I just want to thank God. I want to thank my mom and thank my family for being out there for me and supporting me. And, it's time to work. Eagles got the best player in the ground. I'm going to show it.
So now the Eagles are up.
What did you tell them?
Yeah, I told them they got the best player in the job. And, day one, when I get there, it's time to work. And for the Super Bowl.
And you've got former teammates there already. What does that mean to you?
That means a lot. Jordan Davis and Kobe Dean, for the time they're talking guys for the win.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's show you, Lewis, as we get your thoughts here on Jalen Carter. Let's show you just how special the performance from this young man was.
But this guy, I'm telling you, it's like a man playing with bullets. His quickness, when you talk about
good selection. Good selection by them to make this move. Let me turn my ticker on. Good selection by them to make this move. Carter's good. I know that I can tell you that he's given the Gator fits throughout the years. So he's gone. Good riddance to him. So let's see here.
If he holds up his end of the bargain, they are monstrous across the D line because it's just highlight after highlight with this guy.
So now we're going to find out who's next.
At 315 pounds, it's effortless. And for a team that led the National Football League in sack,
All right. While we're doing that, let's check out Twitter. Let's see what's going on. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Hey, check this out. Anthony Richardson just posted this on Twitter just a moment ago. Oh, yeah. Anthony, he says, for the shoe. Nice. Nice. Very, very nice. Nice. That's cool. That's cool. That is cool. So now the Bears are up now. Let's see who the Bears get. Quarterback, Will Levis.
The Chicago Bears select Darnell Wright, offensive tackle.
Ooh, Darnell Wright. Wow.
I believe that this game, when it's all said and done, has the ability to be the best player in this draft.
So this is the Bears. Okay.
He is big, mean, nasty. Ask Will Anderson. I asked Will Anderson. Who's the player you played against? He instantly said, "Oh,
Titans? No, okay.
He's got punch. He's got lateral ability. He can absolutely knock you off the football and knock you fly. That's Brian Brzee right there. He's taking him on the other side of the center, 5 yards downfield. And as far as being a
So Darnell Wright goes to number 10 to the Titans. And the drop-off with the Levis and Hooker continues. Let's keep that in mind. But the drop-off in Will Levis and Hendon Hooker, it's continuing. Makes you wonder where they're going to get selected.
He was sacked 55 times last year. You got to protect the quarterback, and they got a guy that adds a mean. Look at his city. That's 333 pounds, so he's like typewriter, man.
So Tennessee's coming up next. They say their pick is in.
He had 27 starts at right tackle, 13 at left tackle. This is Ryan Oates. I got to beat him.
Let's see who Tennessee gets.
And they do. Number 11 in Tennessee is next. It's the NFL draft from Kansas City.
We know the pick is in. We just don't know who it is yet.
Maybe someone.
The risk is a blessing. It's dying. A 5-star film. William George Foreman is the team outplay.
I'm Peter Davidson, because before 11 a.m., I like to keep it toned down and simple, just like Taco Bell breakfast. Eggs, sausage, and a crispy hash brown. Isn't that right, co-host Rhonda?
Are we on TV right now?
I don't know. Hey guys, random question. Is it bad to swallow the line on the phone? Hey, did you swallow your line? No, he definitely did. Besides, lines are super cool. What if buildings could tell you how they could be more efficient?
I'm not saying.
With IBM, you can use software to help you connect and analyze data from HVACs to elevators to lights.
What if we use AI-driven insights to keep plan efficiency?
Yeah, and act on it. Through energy, money,
And emissions.
yep, that's a big one. Now you build something better for everyone. That's the building solution IBM, a global real estate company. IBM, that's great. We've got much more time.
What does that mean?
It means you're gonna need more time.
See? More likes, more time.
In order
So Peter Skoronski is expected to go this pick. Now, what it means is now is the offensive linemen are starting to come off the board. Are we going to see a run of offensive linemen now? It's going to be interesting. Okay. The things you find on Twitter. Wow. By the way, the Lightning are still up 2-1.
You're watching the 2023 NFL Draft.
Let's see here.
Presented by Courtyard by Marriott.
Welcome back to Kansas City, where the Tennessee Titans are about to announce the 11th.
Wow, Levis dropping this low. That is just amazing. That's unbelievable. And Titans have 4.5 minutes to go. They're going to take Peter Skoronski, the offensive lineman out of Penn State. That's a mean one, boys. Really. And by Houston moving up against C.J. Stroud, that just wrecked the Titans' plans. You know? We're seeing shots of Titans' War Room. Detroit the Animal in this edition of Animal Football Inside. I hope you like what you're watching. Of course, this is the only night we're going to do the draft. We're not going to do one tomorrow night. If you want to, just let me know. We'll see what we can do for you.
So they could use help in a lot of different places on that offensive side. And I do see the commissioner making the play here. So Tim T will announce their selection, and then the Lions on the clock at number 12 here after a flurry of trades. So we'll hear from the Lions after we hear from Tennessee, and now let's hear from the commissioner.
With the 11th pick in the 2023
Titans are up.
draft, the Tennessee Titans select Peter Skoronski, offensive tackle, Northwestern.
Oh, he's out of Northwestern. Oops. My apologies. I screwed up on that. I'll take the heat on that. I thought he was out of Penn State, so I apologize for that. Oh well. My bad. We always make mistakes, people. We're not perfect. I should have known this.
No-nonsense young man. Now he didn't want any part of the hoopla here. He's in a pizza joint tonight with his family. I'll tell you what, 6'3", 313 pounds, very athletic.
Nice beard. I like his beard, you know. All right, so the closer we get, Will Levis is still on the board. Nolan Smith is still on the board. Hendon Hooker is still on the board. I can't imagine the Bucs picking up a quarterback. I just can't. Detroit is up, and they've already got the pick in. It's got to be a quarterback. It's got to be a quarterback. So,
6 to number 12, and they now will be major players in this draft. They are scheduled to have 5 of the next 43 picks.
How did the Lions get the 12th pick? I thought. Oh, that's right, the trade. That's right, the trade. Okay, all right. My bad. All right, so they gotta get a. I think I know Jared Goff is a quarterback, but they have to. It's got to be a quarterback. I think it's got to be a quarterback.
With the 12th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Jahmyr Gibbs, running back.
They went running back. Jahmyr Gibbs, running back from Alabama. Wow. And that's a That's great. That is great.
Compare him with DeAndre Swift and David Montgomery, who they already have on the roster. What do you think?
And he's good. He's a good running back.
Jahmyr Gibbs can do it all. Transfer from Georgia Tech. He has got home run speed, sub 4.4 speed. He can run inside and outside. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. His comp, to me, obviously, is Alvin Kamara.
Nolan Smith, the linebacker from
Except he's fast. He's a guy who can
Georgia.
You see him here, the vision, the ability to break tackles. He's built well from the.
I mean, there's still some excellent players out there, people.
You're going to have a three-headed monster in Detroit. Second thing is DeAndre Swift. He catch the ball in the backfield, run football inside, outside the tackles. David Montgomery's as tough as they come, and this guy is a home run hitter.
Yeah, you can use him in a lot of ways. You can make him a slot receiver. You can move him wide. You can help out the kick return game. Touchdown.
Hell of a running back. That guy's going to do some things. So Green Bay's up next. Wide receiver? Tight end? Lions drive him and just excited as hell. Looks like that's the guy that they wanted all along. And he's not in New York. He's in his hometown, Dalton, Georgia. Well, that's a great thing with this family. So the Green Bay has about 4 minutes ready to go. Let's go and review for you what's happened this far. Bryce Young went number 1 quarterback from Bama to Carolina. C.J. Stroud to the Texans. Texas traded up and got another pick in Will Anderson, linebacker from Alabama. Then the Colts drafted Anthony Richardson, number 4. Devon Witherspoon, cornerback from Illinois, went number 5. Paris Johnson, offensive tackle, number 6. Tyree Wilson, defensive tackle, Texas Tech, went number 7. Bijan Robinson, running back from Texas, went number 8 to Atlanta. 9, Jalen Carter went to Georgia. 10, Bears, they got Darnell Wright, offensive tackle out of Tennessee. Tennessee got Peter Skoronski, offensive lineman out of Northwestern. And just now, Jahmyr Gibbs, running back from Alabama, went to the Lions. The Green Bay Packers are under Clark, followed by New England, Jets, Commanders, Steelers, Lions, and Buccaneers will be at number 19. And with the way that the Buccaneers are positioned right now, they could go after almost anybody, you know.
I love watching the game with you. Number DirecTV to get a $200 reward card. Yeah, we love our house, but the cost of homeownership has been a struggle. We can kill any prices rise and sweet. In fact, is that somewhere else? Anyway, it's getting harder and harder. What? You mind? Well, on the bright side, new customers of Bundle save with Progressive save over 20% on average. Sorry, we let them practice here on Thursdays. Sounding good, friends?
Because your lives are forever entwined.
All right, so the pick is in for the Green Bay Packers.
$6 your way deal for a limited time. It's a royal still. Burger fries and chicken fries all your way for a feast on what you head to BK. Have it your way.
Roughnecks for the South Division title. The Sea Dragons take on the defenders for the North Division crown. Renegades Roughnecks, Saturday at 7 on ESPN2. Sea Dragons Defenders, Sunday at 3 on ESPN. All for a chance to meet in the championship game, Saturday, May 13th on ABC.
Out of your back in Kansas City, and as you can see, the Green Bay Packers colors have taken over for the moment as the Packers are currently on clock and set to make their
Just checking out some things here, so I apologize. Packers are on the clock. The pick is in. And this is from a trade that happened. Oh, the Aaron Rodgers trade. This is from the Aaron Rodgers trade. They get Green Bay got the 13th overall pick from the Jets. So this is the Jets' original pick. They get the second round pick in this year's draft and a few other things. So this is a pick from Jets. Let's see who they get.
With the 13th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers select Lucas Van Ness.
Oh, nice! 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 Lucas Van Ness, a defensive end from Iowa. Nice! Nice! He was expected. Here's the thing. Lucas Van Ness was expected to go very late in the first round, and instead, the Packers pick him up. That is a great, great pickup for them. That is a great pickup for them. And I saw him play a few times. And man's a beast. Really is. Is he an offensive tackle? I'm going to put him down as offensive tackle. Patriots are on the clock. Now, not going to lie to you. At this point, you have to ask yourself a very important question. Are they comfortable with Mac Jones at quarterback? Let me get the ticker up.
Yeah, I love this pick. It fits because you need versatility up front. I don't think there's a player in this draft.
Now, here's what I want to know. Are the Packers happy with Mac Jones?
So we got an album coming out May 12th, and so that's kind of our exciting priority right now. But then we're
We have a trade alert that's happened. Patriots have traded the pick to the Steelers. So Pittsburgh's on the clock. Interesting. I don't know what the trade is. Okay. But ESPN just reported just now that Steelers have traded the pick. Steelers have traded the Patriots have traded the pick to New England. So Steelers are on the clock.
Moving up, and we know that New England is never afraid to start bouncing around the draft. The Patriots move back, the Steelers up. So the Steelers have been picking at number 17. They move up here to 14, where New England's spot would have been.
And then Steelers and Patriots are going to grab the 17th slot. Oh, but you're going to be pissed if the Steelers get Nolan Smith. But interesting here. Joey Porter.
Here early in the draft in the offensive line position. They tried to piecemeal together over the past 2 years, and it really has stalled out their running game and put their quarterbacks on the run. It would make perfect sense. Wide receiver would make sense. Look, I mean, they can really. Obviously, you move into
maybe even Broderick Jones.
But there's a number of different ways they can go into the offensive line makes total sense.
And there's a bunch of hats in the back with Broderick Jones. I would love to grab Broderick Jones. I would have loved to grab Broderick Jones.
That's the point. Is that 13 to 15 swap? If indeed this is Broderick Jones going here to Pittsburgh, that pick swap, we saw how long and hard it was for the.
Everybody been saying that Joey Porter Jr. was going to be the pick, but now Patriots get the 17th overall pick and a 4th round pick in this year's draft for the Steelers' 14th overall pick. So the Patriots slide down 3 slots and give up a 4th round pick.
Outside linebacker Georgia is a really good football player. Nolan Smith is a nice player for the board. St. Flowers, the Jackson Smith, the Flowers and BC, Smith, the St. Ohio.
They're not going to get a quarterback. I know that. They're not going to get a quarterback here.
They need another wide receiver really to go with George Pickens. They need somebody to help him out. DJ needs some help right in the passer.
I say Joey Porter Jr. goes.
Critical positions right there. You have good players still on the board for. The Steelers who hung around in the playoff chase pretty much the entire year last year, and so much of the credit for that given to their head. Here's the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Here we go, Pittsburgh's pick.
Have traded the 14th pick to the Pittsburgh Steelers. With the 14th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Broderick Jones, offensive tackle, Georgia.
Oh, so Broderick Jones, the offensive tackle from Georgia, goes. Oh, wow, because we heard so much talk. We heard so much talk about Joey Porter going back home to his dad's team that he played for, and it ends up now that Joey Porter, that Broderick Jones, the offensive tackle from Georgia, is going to the Steelers. Let's update the ticker. Jets are coming up next.
Put them in the bathtub, they like that, let them soak in water. I take them out in public, I just let them ride the car with me sometimes. My snakes never try to bite me. It's all about the mind. The more you take them out and build that trust with them, I feel like you'll be okay.
Wow.
in the draft out of Georgia. How we're running the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'd ask Broderick to lead the Snakes at home in Georgia. Far away as possible. Not a big fan. You guys like snakes? No snakes for us.
So now we are at the 15th pick for the JETS Just. And ABC has Jonas Brothers up on stage. Well, not on stage, but they're talking to him. You're Troy the Animal coming at you from the confines of West Des Moines, Iowa. On draft night, we've had Lauren Meadows. Anybody that wants to come on and talk draft talk, just give me a holler, and I'll get you on. Jets are up now. Don't you have Aaron Rodgers? Now it depends on where they want to go. I don't know. Do they draft an offensive lineman to protect Aaron Rodgers? Do they go defense, select Nolan Smith? Okay. I mean, this is interesting. This has gotten really interesting because now the more all this happens, the better off it comes out. Okay. I don't know. This draft is this is looking really good for Tampa. You know? So I don't know who would I want to pick at this time. You know?
To watch the Super Bowl on our stream.
They're too young for LT. I'm just saying, they got this thing on YouTube.
Everything is looking like Nolan Smith could be the pick for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Really is. Wow. By the way, a couple of notes here. The Tampa Bay Rays are up on the Chicago White Sox, 14-3 in bottom of the ninth inning, and the Lightning defeated the Toronto Maple Leafs 4-2. Now that game goes back to Tampa 3-2. Things are really, really getting interested in Tampa Bay. So we have the Jets. 2.5 minutes to go till they're on the clock. Are they trading? By the way, officially now, coming in May, they released a schedule for the 2023 season. ESPN2 and ESPN Plus and the NFL Network will have that. Look at that crowd. Makes you wonder if I want to even be there in Kansas City. And by the way, just so you know, Chiefs fans, they are awesome. They're awesome people. They really are. They treat you in first class. Oh my gosh, I didn't have the ticker. I'm sorry.
get to buy more. They need to go.
Talk about Pittsburgh now. That's Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Hell of it.
Jets are down to 124 to go, and they still do not have their selection yet.
He was good in Jet 3, too. All the names you guys have mentioned have been defensive players. We'll see if that is question. The Jets wind up going to took them a very
Well, it looks like they made a pick because everybody's high-fiving each other.
this selection, but we are seeing this is a lot of pictures from their draft room, and they seem to be hugging each other.
So,
That they have not turned in the envelope, it certainly looks as though they've made some sort of decision that has been decided. We'll see what it is. Again, the belief has been that they wanted out of this night with an offensive tackle. Three primary names went off the board before this.
because they get Nolan Smith, because they grab another offensive tackle. We know the pick is in. We know the pick is in.
We assume it is the Jets who have made that selection, and we'll find out from the commissioner in just a matter of a few moments. All of you seem to suspect that they will go on the defensive side with their defensive
Defense?
I have to. It's the AFC. You have so many great quarterbacks in this conference, guys. And you have a division with Josh Allen. I mean, when you guys got Jeff Stewart, you want to get after him, right? You got
I mean, you think about it for just a minute.
Mac Jones, and Mac Jones right now is the fourth best quarterback in this division, by the way. And the AFC loaded with great quarterbacks.
It wouldn't hurt for them to draft a quarterback right now. Why not? How long is Rodgers is going to be there? 1 year, maybe 2 years? Be a great time to develop a quarterback. Why not?
Even Nolan Smith for Kalani Camps. You're either getting much from the interior or the outside. Can't see it. I mean, both of them have elite traits.
And we're going to find out here in just a few minutes. In any event, this is looking great for Tampa. Okay, we're getting reports that it might be Will McDonald that gets picked. Rays win at 14-5, by the way.
I'm thinking Detroit down there, they see it. Think about him with Aiden Hutchinson. Detroit's doing more. Houston also, don't forget about him. Houston also. No, absolutely. Don't forget about him. Absolutely. And so with the Jets on the clock, the young man who's going to help Roger Goodell announce their pick is going to be named Kyle Stickles. He is a 13-year-old recovering from bone cancer, and he's a Make-A-Wish kid from Kent, New York. His wish was to announce the first-round pick for the Jets, and so he will have the honor of doing that. In fact, I see him coming up the staircase. You see the Jet fans are excited.
Joe Wing on the Jets pick.
They're fans of this franchise, and here comes the commissioner and his special guest to announce the pick.
Oh, nice. They got a special guest. Let's take a listen.
The NFL is proud to be part of the global community that supports the life-changing wishes that Make-A-Wish grants. With World Wish Day only a couple days away, I'm joined by Kyle Stickles, a Make-A-Wish kid who battled and overcame bone cancer. Kyle's wish is to announce the first round pick of his favorite team, the New York Jets.
Nice.
I'd like
Nice.
all of you to
Make-A-Wish
join me
kid
in
making
Kyle
the
wish
announcement
comes true.
of the Jets pick.
Floor's yours, Kyle.
Thank you, Mr. Goodell. I'd also like to thank the NFL, the New York Jets, and the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Northeastern New York for giving me this opportunity tonight. Yeah!
That's cool.
With the 15th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft,
Let's see.
the New York Jets select Will McDonald.
Will McDonald. Defensive linebacker from Iowa State. God, this man's a monster. This man is quite a monster. Wow. Wow. Will McDonald. let's see here. So,
Singing about him a lot as well, which he did very effectively. 6'3.5", 240 pounds, he had a 36 vertical, turned 24 years of age in June. Professional business-like approach, incredibly long arm.
the Will McDonald linebacker from Iowa State. That man was a beast. Let me tell you something. He
A guy has proven to have been, proven to be explosive, proven to be a guy who is business-like and goes out.
Now the Redskins are on the clock. Oh, we should say the Commanders. I'm sorry. The Commanders are on the clock at this time. Wow. I'm going to do something here in a minute because I want to know what the guys from Pewter Report are saying right now. By the way, the Lightning won their game. I said Lightning won their game 4-2. Let's see here. All right. Let's see here. All right. NFL Draft Center. I wonder what this is. Let's see here. So NFL Network has their own deal. So they're doing that as well. Pewter Report, there we go. All right, Commander's pick is in. The Commander's pick is in. So let's do that. It looks like either Will Levis or Hendon Hooker. It's gotta be Will Levis. I mean, come on now. I'm going to predict Will Levis. I don't know. I just got this strange feeling. Just me. You know? And as
including 2 years complimentary charging and prepaid maintenance. The vehicles are all electric. The feeling is all Mercedes. The choice.
Okay, so
These dream days are only here until June 5th.
So we're thinking. So I'm giving reports it might be Emmanuel Forbes. So we're thinking Washington. Wow. Okay, so we're thinking here that Redskins. I'm hearing now that through Twitter that it could be Emmanuel Forbes who gets picked. Okay. Wow. Wow.
Enthusiastic problem solvers. Possess strong communication skills. Be good.
Mississippi State quarterback Emmanuel Forbes. Oh man. So it's expected Washington may get Emmanuel Forbes. Linebacker from cornerback out of Mississippi State. Wow. Are you kidding me? You have a quarterback in Will Levis. So the Patriots going to stand at number 17. They could get Will Levis. They could get Hendon Hooker. And if they do, what that says is that they're not interested in Mac. What's his name? It skips me. Okay, but you know who I'm talking about.
Welcome back to the 2023 NFL Draft. Presented
And so you have to wonder.
by Marriott.
We continue from Kansas City as we work our way to the midway point of round one, actually slightly beyond with only 31 picks this year. The Washington Commanders take his division.
With the 16th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Washington Commanders select Emmanuel Forbes.
Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? I mean, look, I'm happy for Forbes. Don't get me wrong. But you want to draft him this high? I mean, Nolan Smith is looking more and more like the pick that the Buccaneers are going to get. Nice. That could be a very, very nice pickup. You know? This is crazy. This is cray-cray. I mean, we're not just talking about cray. We're talking about cray-cray. Pat McAfee has a show going on. What's going on with him? Unbelievable. I see myself on YouTube. Oh, and by the way, the sale of the Commanders is supposed to get done in a couple of weeks. So Daniel Snyder is no longer going to be the owner of the team. Thank goodness. Okay, Patriots do not. Okay, so Patriots do not waste any time. Their pick is in.
In the 2023 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots select Christian Gonzalez, defensive back, Oregon.
Okay, so the Patriots with defense grabbed the cornerback from out of Oregon, Christian Gonzalez. Great pick for them. All right, update this. So he's off the board. So we have the Lions, and then we have our beloved Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Oh, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. All right. just.
Is a good gift from Levis is still waiting to hear his name called. The Lions are 18 followed by Tampa Bay,
Check.
Seattle. Will anyone want a quarterback? We're going to find out as we continue in a moment from Kansas.
I'm just done at the drop of Will Levis. I mean, you look at him, he just looks so. It's like, hey, doesn't matter, you know. But I just, I'm kind of stunned. I really am. I really thought Will Levis was going to get drafted pretty high. But I guess the mayonnaise in the coffee didn't do well, you know. I don't know what to think. I really don't know what to think. You know, it's wow. I really thought Will Levis or Hendon Hooker would have been drafted by now. Actually, Hooker, I think will have been a second or third round pick because of the injury that he has, you know. And I don't expect Tampa Bay to get him. No way. No way in heck do I expect Tampa Bay to get him. So the Lions are on the clock, and then the Buccaroonies are on the clock. Okay. So let's see here.
The all-new Prius, Toyota. Let's go.
3.5 minutes to go, and Lions still has not made a pick. Are they doing a trade?
Not like that.
Are they waiting on some things?
Yes, with IBM Consulting, AI powered.
I don't know.
Automate your supply chain so beer can be ordered, produced, and delivered.
But it's going to be interesting. But this is going to be very interesting to see what happens.
IBM and the global beer company created. What will you create? IBM.
And
Doesn't get any better than this.
let's be honest, the Buccaneers have stayed true to their philosophy. They haven't moved, and yet they sit there number 19, and they could get a pretty damn good player. It could be Nolan Smith. Could be another player. Lions have made their pick. I'll tell you right now, if it's Nolan Smith, you're going to see those draft people in that war room just collapse on their knees. I don't think it's going to be that. It could possibly be Will Levis. I tell you what, though, at the Buccaneers draft a quarterback, it has sent a strong signal to Kyle Trask. That's what I think.
Some of YouTube's biggest creators and NFL players are running drills together. They're sharing their draft experiences.
Now look at that site in Kansas City. It is just packed. It is just packed.
All right, we continue. Now let's take a look at your best available players. Brought to you by the 1 Yard Line area. Quarterback Will Levis, Kentucky, my second highest rated quarterback still on the board. Like I say, it's sliding down, but first round has the first other quarterback in the history.
And Zay Flowers is still available. Jackson Smith, Najiba, wide receiver, still open. Don Kincaid is still available. I still think they go after Nolan Smith. If Nolan Smith is available, they get him. The outside linebacker from Georgia. And I'd be thrilled. I'd be ecstatic with that. And that would mean maybe Devin White does get traded. And I think that Devin White has been a jerk about all this. Okay. He's a great linebacker, but he doesn't deserve $100 million. And we all know that. Will Levis is just sitting back in the green room, all smiles, not acting like, not being down like Aaron Rodgers was back when he was being drafted. And Bucs are not going to draft. Lines are up here, so let's see what happens with the pick.
For Detroit, obviously a terrific second half of last season. So many people view them as a team with a big future, a team a lot of people like in that NFC North where Aaron Rodgers will no longer be dominating.
Lion fans are excited. Some dressed in costumes.
With the 18th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft,
Let's see.
Jack Campbell, linebacker, Iowa.
Are you kidding me? Wow. Jack Campbell from a linebacker from Iowa. And he's a good player. Don't know if he was right to be in this position. So Jack Campbell. I think he's a defensive end, right? Let's see, linebacker. All right, so Jack Campbell from Iowa has been the next pick. So now Buccaneers are on the clock. Now, as you all know by now, the Buccaneers have been struggling financially because of Tom Brady and everything that happened with them. And they had to do some massive cut downs with the salary cap. Now, because of that, some massive cuts have been made, but Jason Light's been doing an excellent job he's been really doing an excellent job with the salary cap. Now we find out how good it is. They're in a great position. I think it's going to be Nolan Smith. I cannot believe it's not going to be anybody else. And it's just amazing to see how far Will Levis has dropped. Bucs have already made their pick. And by the way, when the Bucs make their pick, we are going to join Buccaneers.com in the press conference, but only for just a quick minute or so because of issues. Okay. And a good friend of mine just made a great comment. He said, this isn't a deep draft class, but the Buccaneers a great opportunity to throw all caution to the wind and take Levis instead of just another guy who won't have much of an impact. I kind of disagree with that, though. I know that was where he was going. So...
Introducing Front Door. Download today the video chat on Expert.
Continue from Kansas City, and we are waiting to hear the names of two quarterbacks that we expect to go.
I can't believe the Bucs would draft a quarterback. I just don't see it happening. I do not see it happening. I think it's going to be Nolan Smith. I just can't believe it's going to be anybody else.
Let's find out. Here comes Roger Goodell with the pick.
With the 19th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Kalijah Kancey.
What the heck?
Defensive tackle out of Pitt, the last unanimous All-American.
Okay, so the Buccaneers have selected Kalijah Kancey, defensive tackle out of Pittsburgh. I have no idea, but ESPN's comparing him to Aaron Donald. What the? Wow. I'm seeing some highlights. He looks pretty fast. Wow, pretty fast.
And here with Aaron Donald, you see him here throw a little bit of a push-pull, get his hands on him, jerk the offensive guard down to the ground, and then just get in on the quarterback. This is exactly what Todd needs. He needs that guy when they go four-man line and it's third down. You have the quarterback put him on the ground. Perfect play for Kalijah. Yeah, because this will allow him not to blitz so much.
Kalijah Kancey, 6'1", 281, ran 4.67 40-yard dash and has a 30.58 arm length. Pretty close to Aaron Donald when he came out. So Kalijah Kancey is so here we go. Hang on just a minute here. And then I'm gonna look up some information on him because I have no idea. Let's see here.
You looking for a first mate? I know a guy. Me, I'm the guy.
Let's see here. I never heard of this guy. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, he's 6'1", 281. Out of Miami, he's a redshirt. He out of Pittsburgh. I'm sorry, college out of Pittsburgh. 6'1", 281 out of Pittsburgh. Wow. He's a defensive tackle. Okay. Okay, defensive tackle, Pittsburgh. Okay. So that's the latest on him. Okay. Let me get some more information on him. Let's see here. He redshirted the first year with Pitt. In 2020, he started the final 4 games of 2020, ended up 27 tackles, 7 for loss, 13 All-American that year. He was the first team All-American ACC Defensive Player of the Year as a junior at the finals for the Nagurski and Outland Trophy, and leading the Panthers with 14.5 tackles for loss, with 7.5 sacks and 11 starts. Missed the final 2 games of the year, of the season. Some grade him as a first round pick, comparing to John Randall. Say he's undersized, one gapping defensive tackle, who's explosive in production and productive. Let's see here. I'd like to see some highlights on him. I hate when get ads up, you know.
Kansas City, who on aerial coverage is provided by Cleveland. Putting their first step on the field to their first run on this stage. These players have more driven. We're still waiting to hear the name of quarterback Will Levis from Kentucky. This means a lot of the fight to see
Oh my God. Oh, seriously? NFL Network was doing a comparison of Kalijah Cansey. Hang on.
And we're still if one of them decides to take a quarterback. There were teams who were concerned about a toe injury that Levis suffered against Ole Miss at the 1st of October. He missed 2 games with that foot, Joe. Some said
Morrison and Schefter are talking about some things regarding quarterbacks. Lance Zierlein of NFL.com compares Clancy to John Randall. Wow. All right. So that's who's going to make the pick. That's who's made the pick. So, like I said, I can only join Buccaneers.com just for a minute. All right. Seattle's on the clock. Will Levis? Richardson was supposed, in most mock drafts, Richardson was supposed to go with the selection. Wow. Wow, unbelievable. Wow. I'm just shocked. Nolan Smith was there for the taking, and they decided to go after this guy named Kalijah Cansey. I'm shocked. I really am. Let's see here. Draft. Let's see here. Let's see. It was first team All-American from Miami out of high school. Let's see. With first team All-AP, All-American, and ACC Defensive Player of the Year as a junior. And he missed the final 2 games of last year with the shoulder injury. All right. This is crazy. And we're hoping to hear from Jason Light in just a few minutes on this. I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. This was supposed to be wow. This is just, I'm in shock. I am just in shock. Oh man.
It's amazing that none of the wide receivers are gone yet. But we talk about this draft not being very deep from a wide receiver standpoint. But there's some good ones.
I mean, this had to do with money. This had more to do with finances than anything, in my opinion. Seattle's up.
The Seattle Seahawks are champions of growing the game of football at the youth and high school levels. Joining me on stage,
excuse me, long day.
Tackle football players and local girls flag players who are pioneers in flag football growth.
Goodell's going to reveal the pick in just a few minutes.
The NFL values of respect,
I just,
resiliency, and responsibility.
I just don't know.
Your academic and football careers.
I just don't know how to react. Okay, Jason, like I said, we can only join them for like a minute or two. Okay, so
With the 20th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Jackson and Jigba, wide receiver.
Oh, Seattle got Jackson Smith-Njigba, wide receiver from Ohio State. Now he was expected to go to the Bucks. Some mock drafts had him going to the Bucks. So,
The year before, 95 catches, over 1,600 yards.
let's see here.
Not just a slot player, which is where he can really do a lot of work in the middle of the field. He did a lot of work in Ohio State. But he's a split end, he's a safety, he's also a slot guy. And they moved over with Barron, with TJ for sure in Tyler Lockett. And Geno Smith has to be thinking, look, I have a guy here right now who can make the contested catches, who you don't see get run down from behind.
He's from the same area, Miami, same high school as Levante, and very, very similar personalities and ways that they lead, and just intense, fiery competitor. We're just really, really happy. We think we got a chance to get somebody at this day and age. It's hard to find interior pass rushers. They're very few and far between. So hopefully we got one.
When you look at his size, he really is an outlier. You guys have never had a defensive tackle this small and compared to Vita Vea, certainly, but even Logan Hall, who's much taller. How is he going to be able to hold up against center guard double teams at this level? Just kind of walk us through some of that process that you were, looking at the pros and the cons of him as a player.
Well, yeah, every player's different, and you have to adjust, which Todd does a great job of adjusting to who you have and how you play defense. We do think that he has strength, and he does have power, and he does have ability to hold up in there. They were saying the same things. I'm not comparing him to Aaron Donald. That's not fair. I would say he's more like John Randall. That was a joke. That was a joke. That was a joke. I'm joking. That was a joke. No, he's, every player is different, and we're just excited. We've been talking about him, through the whole process of the different ways that we can use him and how we're going to have to adjust a little bit, but maybe for the better.
He lined up a little bit everywhere on the defense front. He's probably a three technique by default here.
That's kind of the way we see it right now. Yeah.
How does that kind of impact what you guys have done? And again, I know that you moved your defensive line all around, but like with Logan Hall, you guys invested draft capital in him last year. Yeah, we still have a lot of, optimism for Logan. You can't have too many of these guys. It's, we may draft another one. So it's hard to find good players in the trenches.
All right. That is Jason Light. That's Jason Light that you just heard a few minutes ago, talking about his new player for the Buccaneers. I'm in shock. I really thought Nolan Smith was going to be the pick. So that's not what happened. Turned out to be Clancy from Pittsburgh. And look, I think this had more to. I mean, I'm sure the guy's very talented, but I think this had more to do with finances, and they won't tell you that. But I think this had more to do with finances and what's going on. So Chargers are 21 now, And they're fixing to make their pick here in just a second. Still no Will Levis. Still no Hendon Hooker. I mean, this is crazy. I wonder what Lauren Meadows has done. I'd like to get him back on for just a minute. Because I love to get his thoughts on something here. Because I don't know. And you look at Will Levis, and he's laughing and joking with family and all. And I know the family is trying to get him in a good mood, but San Diego at 22. I mean, why not? You know, why not go out on the West Coast? There's nothing to lose out there, you know. But we're gonna see what happens here in just a minute. Let's see what Twitter is saying about everything. Let's see here. During last 2 years at Pittsburgh, Kalijah Kancey had 14.5 sacks. He really put on a great show at the combine, running the 40 at 4.67 seconds at 281 pounds. And he'll be a defensive lineman in the 3-4 defense. That is according to Greg Allman of the Atlantic. And this is interesting. Somebody, by the way, Quentin Johnston, TCU, wide receiver, got picked by the Chargers. That's surprising. Let me put this on the ticker. Oh, excuse me, I think we said TCU, right? Yep. I mean TCU and Texas Christian. Yep, TCU. All right. Yep, and he goes to the Chargers. Here's what somebody says on Twitter. Says, so the Bucs have taken defensive tackles in back-to-back years as first-round picks after getting Vita Vea a big contract. That's interesting. Excuse me. Ravens are at 23. I mean, I am shocked. I am just shocked by Will Levis not being drafted. And at this point, you have to wonder: is Will Levis Will Levis really worth a first-round pick? I mean, think about this for just a minute. I mean, this is insane. This is insidious. Wow. I don't think Clancy. I don't think Clancy was ever mentioned as a selection. In the drafts that I heard of, I never heard of Clancy coming up in conversation whatsoever. Didn't know who he was. Had to do research. Cray is what I say. Cray people, just totally cray. Oh, here's something interesting, courtesy of the NFL. Kalijah Kancey set an NFL record, combine record, for the fastest 40 run by a prospect weighing 280 pounds plus. Wow. That is very interesting. Didn't know that. All right, so who do we have coming up? Washington, they made their pick. Buccaneers have their pick. I thought we had their pick. Hang on. Did I miss a pick? Okay, so so Seattle at 20 took Najiba. Chargers took Quentin Johnston, wide receiver to TCU. So Jacksonville should be up. But now it's Baltimore. Why is Baltimore up? $22. Seems I missed a few picks, folks. So the Ravens are on the clock, and let's see who they get with their selection. They just signed Lamar Jackson today, so you're not gonna expect them to get a quarterback. So
Exactly. Can you say help? They have a different name. They instruct to add a lot of weapons for the Baltimore Ravens. But when I like Zay Flowers, I'm brought in the way Baltimore how it reminds me of how Andy Reid used to kill Kansas City. Constantly put him in the slot in 3-by-1 set where he's the third guy in, closest to the offensive tackle, and getting him up vertically on safeties, running double move, running those deep over routes. I mean, the guy is he's impossible to come over safety. He's tough to come up the corner. They need that dynamic, plus 20 yards type of guy. That produces some plays. He's got it.
How could I miss 22, 23, 24? Unbelievable.
He will play like a Raven. The Ravens wide receivers combined for the fewest receiving yards in the NFL.
Let's see who the Ravens get with their pick.
1,500 yards for the entirety of the receiving corps. Of course, the end of their season was just a mess after Lamar Jackson got hurt, and there was all of those questions as to whether he'd come back in 24 or not. Let's find out.
The 22nd pick in the 2023 draft. The Baltimore Ravens select Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers, wide receiver from Boston College, gets drafted by the Ravens. That's a great pick.
Flowers was the 83rd ranked receiver in the country. Now, he's a first round pick. He is. His mom passed away when he was a young age. He had a lot of responsibility. His dad working. He's out there. He understands what it is to deal with adversity and have to do things and take care of his sisters and brothers. And Zay Flowers, what a great young man. 5'9" and a quarter, 182, 4.4 speed, electric, as I said. That quarterback issue. Coach Kovic injured. Think about Jeff Hafley. He's going in this year. A lot of guys going to the transfer portal, right? Everybody wants Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers stays at Boston College. They produce big plays. I'll tell you what, for a guy 5'9" and a quarter, 182 bucks, he will make those contested balls in traffic. Tough kid, loves to play the game. He's an energizer. Look at him here. You look about a guy who can make things happen with the ball in his hands. Defensive players trying to corral this guy. Good luck.
The best line I heard about it throughout the whole process, he can win a game of tag in the phone book, really simple. And if you look at the Ravens wide receiver, they were last in yardage.
So now Minnesota is up.
Get somebody, not only they can win at the catch point, but when they get the ball in their hands, they can make plays in space.
We're not gonna listen to Todd Bowles in his press conference. I'm sure they're gonna give positive reviews to him. So
Look, he's just one of these guys who I'm telling you is a matchup nightmare because of how good he is off the line of scrimmage, how he can play outside and inside, and just how good he is at the top of his routes as far as creating.
and a lot of people compare Flowers to Tyreek Hill. That's pretty nice comparison. You know?
Right here, as a defensive back, as a safety, and look, man, you just better back up. Just back up and play it top down. Because if you really try to play it true and try to read his routes and read his releases, you don't have a shot. This is something that Kansas City used to do with Tyreek all the time. As soon as you turn and open your hips, you best believe he's got you right where he wants you. And then after that, you're not going to catch Tyreek. And I'm not saying Zay is as fast as Tyreek, but the same kind of utilization. And here again, you see him there. You see him with the corner post. Fake it to the corner, come back on the post, and then after the catch.
So now the Vikings are up. Is this a place for Will Levis? Gotta be. I honestly can't think of what other player they would want. Granted, Nolan Smith has not been drafted yet.
10 seconds ago, he tweeted, "Well, it happened." Obviously, Mel, the quarterback of Baltimore is happy with the new receiver. And Odell Beckham Jr., one of his good friends, now, like they say, those Flowers fell off. We're good when they get touched.
So now, is this where Will Levis gets drafted? Go to the Minnesota Vikings?
You made history. The first BC wide receiver to go in the first round. What are you most proud of in the journey?
By the way, Dave Flowers becomes the first BC wide receiver ever drafted in the first round. Wow.
Everybody by my side. And Coach Hafley stuck by me and gave me his word. And he helped me with this opportunity.
One of 14 kids, and your dad held it down on his own.
By the way, after Minnesota, Jacksonville will be on the clock, then the Giants. Jacksonville's not going to take a quarterback, obviously. But although I will say Nolan Smith could become a nice fit for them.
Somebody is really happy tonight. Lamar Jackson is already tweeting out how happy he is.
Tell him let's do it. Hey, we about to work. Let's get to it.
There you go.
Yeah, beautiful moment there. Talking about his mom, and then, of course, Lamar Jackson tweeting the happy news. And we gave you the number beforehand. Since Lamar Jackson's first start back late in his rookie year, the team is last in receiving receptions per game, and receiving.
And Odell Beckham, I didn't know that Odell Beckham signed a 1-year deal with the Ravens. That's interesting. I'm just happy now that the whole Lamar Jackson deal is over with. We can just talk, and have a simple little off season.
The Chargers are playing, the Bills are playing, the Chiefs are playing. We're going to try to score
through the passing game, and this fits that profile. That's why I was so
Vikings have not made their pick yet, and there are about 2.5 minutes to go.
He's excited. Yes. If you would have this lingering on,
Dave Flowers taking pictures with his Minnesota Viking fan base.
Which he was the toast of the town. All right, let's turn the page here. The next team up is the Minnesota Vikings. Who obviously had the gaudy regular season record last year. They were 11-0 in one-score games last year. Got knocked out in their very first playoff game at home by the Giants, 31-24. In an NFC that has been somewhat depleted, you do have to wonder.
Do you take a running back?
Where they could consider taking a quarterback. I feel like I've heard that mentioned a couple of times through the process, but now is shaking his head.
I mean, why not? Kirk Cousins is not getting any younger. Levis might be a great addition to them. This would be the perfect spot for Will Levis.
Deontay Banks, who had a heck of a year, came back for shoulder injury in 2021. People believed in you. They gave you the chance. You know, what do you want to do? They sort of spoke to his loyalty and his patience, which has been paid off now.
You know, you see the war room, and you see so many people in there. You tend to wonder, what does each person do in that room? You know? We see Will Levis with, I believe, his agent. Hendon Hooker at home with his family, a large contingent. Including Tennessee head coaches there as well.
Just like everyone, that he could go number 4 overall. So this is becoming a long night for the Levis family.
Yeah, and you look at these two, and who knows if they're going to select quarterbacks. When you look at those two, one on the left.
I would, if I'm
decision making.
If I'm Minnesota, I would take Levis. Has a better, in my opinion, has a better upside. I mean, seeing the way he destructed the Gator defense and all, I would say take him.
Vikings were really targeting him.
All right, so Vikings have made their pick. The pick is in.
The injury that he suffered late, that he could be ready to go fairly early next year, but he wouldn't be rushed to play.
That guy in the beard on the bottom right, he's serious. I mean, he means business. I don't know what he's saying.
He's the one who plays with that classic. Whoever they took, he's standing on the table together. He's offensive line.
So let's see if Twitter has anything.
He's excited. I want to find out all the things you could see in that room. I love it. He came in there. Ready to roll. Let's have like he's like, have you got a telestrator over there? Here he comes. Let's try to make it smile now.
So let's see here. And Greg Arman also makes a great point. Bucks go defensive line with Pitt's Kalijah Kancey. They haven't re-signed Akeem Hicks nor Will Golston, so fills a major need on the defensive front. Second year in a row, their top pick is the defensive lineman. Great analysis. I love it. Yeah, and he's right. You know.
So the Vikings, will they take their quarterback into these coverage anywhere else? Get some help and a great.
The 23rd pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Jordan
Addison. Wow. Okay. Vikings just selected Jordan Addison, wide receiver from USC. Wow. That's shocking. That's shocking. Let's see here.
The name of Justin Jefferson, who's a pretty good ball player in his own right. Yeah.
You know, he is on one side, and you got Jordan Addison on the other side of this offense. That is beautiful. What a great day.
Wow.
That is some kind of truth.
So now the Jaguars on the clock.
Number 3, when he went to USC, that had been his number at Pittsburgh when he had over 2,200 yards receiving in his 2 seasons there. As I mentioned, the Whitney Cup Award winner. Now, Carson Palmer, great quarterback for USC, Heisman Trophy winner. I think number 3 retired, but with all the transfer portal additions going to USC, Carson because Jordan Addison paid off with his solid season.
Let's see here. What's going to be Jaguars?
Yeah, Addison's 5'11", 173, ran a 4.49. Like today's game, that's very average, just below average with the size, right? Yeah. There's nothing underwhelming about his game. He's the natural to me. Route running, setting up defenders, understanding where to be in zone. He just has a great feel for the game. He can play inside and he can play
Why is my
outside.
computer not working?
And I give him a lot of credit. You know, you have that great year you win the Belitza Cup in 2021. When he got off the plane, right, that was the first time he stepped foot in California. And then so the new system, obviously a great quarterback, but moved his life out west. That 1 year of opportunity. He had a really good season. Now he's going to be a first-round draft pick. That chance to be great. I think to run the whole route to that would be great to an offense. And he in his route, he can snap them off, and it creates natural, instantaneous separation. He's quick, great footwork, excellent eye-hand coordination, and I think he's going to be a tremendous, impactful player for Minnesota. Oh, for sure. Jordan Addison going to Minnesota. Here's Florida Lovett.
Thanks, Reese. Keisha, as mom, just as you saw Jordan walking on that stage, you screamed really loud, "Let's go." That's right. What would you use to describe the joy of this moment? I am elated. I am elated. This is.
No, I'm not Jason Light. Okay.
So I am so proud.
Let me take that off. There we
You
go.
were yelling too, okay? So how fired up are you?
Oh, I'm super fired up, man. My brother worked so hard for this, all the work that he's put into this point, man. It just, I don't know, I'm emotional for him, man. But we here, and everybody who passed on him is done to the other guys, but y'all made a mistake, and he's going to show y'all. He's going to show y'all this season, yeah.
Let's hear some more roars from you guys. I like it.
Let's go!
It's out in here.
I love Laura Rutledge.
We got more coming your way from the
She's in the green room. Giants have their pick in.
Still waiting to see if a team takes Will Levis and more.
Lowe's knows the most powerful tool.
Of course, they're not going to take Will Levis. No.
We got an app that lets you build an instant quote. Reorder your favorites. And track your MVP's Pro Rewards. It works hard so you can stay on the job, get it done, and move on to the next.
Let's see where we're at right now.
Good morning. I'm Peter Davidson.
We're at the 24th pick in the draft. Okay.
Melted cheese and a crispy hash brown and a grilled tortilla. Nothing too wild, just like me. Peter Davidson. Isn't that right, co-host Ron? Co-host? You're on Breakfast with Peter. You're my co-host.
Are we on TV right now?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
So, if Giants pick gets in, then Jaguars are on the clock. Okay. Oh, so the Giants. Okay, so the Giants must have switched. So Giants and Jaguars switched picks. Okay, guys. So that's how it is. So
Interesting piece. Let me bring in my expert.
So strange. Such a rich history. This won't do well in auction, but at AT&T, it's worth a brand new Samsung Galaxy S23.
Wait, really? What about this?
okay, so the Giants and Jaguars have switched picks. So I wonder what happened there. So
We're back.
back in Kansas City, the 2023 NFL Draft. We've had quite a few trades, and we just had another. Adam Schefter, what are the details?
Well, Green, the Giants are trading a few picks to move up one slot, and the Giants have needed help in the secondary. They've been looking hard in this draft, and this will be their chance by moving up one slot to improve their secondary. This would be the spot to do it, Greeny.
Well, we'll see now if that's the direction they go.
So Giants get the number 24th pick. Jaguars get the 25th, and then a 5th round pick in this year's draft, and also a 7th round pick. Oh wow! So Jags gave up 2 other picks. Wow. Giants gave up 2 picks to the Jaguars.
Joey Porter Jr. from Penn State and my guy Deontay Banks from Maryland. And that makes sense. You're going to go off of Jacksonville to me, could take the corner, but then there's tight end Buck Kincaid, tight end Michael Bear.
And by the way, we're like 5 more picks, and then this first round is over with.
I'm a Maryland guy with Deontay Banks. I came back with that shoulder injury and had a heck of a season for the Maryland player.
You mentioned defensive coordinator Rick Martindale. No one likes to play cover zero, which is no safety in the whole war.
Where did they go? Nolan Smith? Does Nolan Smith get picked up here? Is this a pick for him? I'll be shocked if Nolan Smith does not get picked up in the first round. Matt, think about this. Nolan Smith doesn't get picked up in the first round, and then Hooker doesn't get picked up in the first round. Will Levitt doesn't get picked up in the first round. I mean, think about it just a minute. Dallas, Buffalo, Cincinnati, the Saints, the Eagles, and the Chiefs, none of them are going to get a quarterback. None. Maybe the Cowboys. And I'm surprised the Cowboys have not moved.
The Jacksonville Jaguars have traded the 24th pick to the New York Giants. With the 24th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Deontay Banks, defensive back, Maryland.
Deontay Banks, defensive back from Maryland. That's the guy that the Giants selected.
Games as a freshman, never looked back. He's got the combination of size and speed now that every team is looking for. At 6 foot, was 200 pounds, ran right 4'4", 4'3", 4'4", 42-inch vertical jump. Talking about how athletic he is. We're talking about that further. You think about this year, he came back with a shoulder injury. This goes to 2021. I'm watching Jacorian Bennett to start the year. He's a really good player. Might be a 3rd round pick, 4th round pick. So Deontay Banks just jumped out after from being 1-1. He had 8 pass breakups, he had an interception. He did not allow a reception of over 30 yards all year. But that notable games, Purdue, Indiana, outstanding. Ohio State did some good things there. Now, at the end of the route, he wanted time, not locate the ball. That's something I thought he showed some improvement, but that was not the bugaboo. That was something I think that bothered him just a bit close and coverage to get 6 sacks, improve on that. Within that size, speed, and
So Buffalo's going to be up next. They're not going to draft a quarterback. Wow. Buffalo could come away with. Wow, Buffalo could get Nolan. Wow, Buffalo could get Nolan Smith. And if they don't, then you have to begin to wonder what's wrong with Nolan Smith.
The Gillette Labs exfoliating
So Buffalo is up, and ESPN airs a Gillette commercial with Josh Allen. I love it.
And if you want to keep the beard, use King C Gillette, a lineup of products designed to cleanse, soften, trim, and style for your best beard. Gillette, the best a man can get.
Be a full-time fan.
Checking on something here.
The early check-ins. Big shifts. Good days. The bad ones. that you'll never quit because you're in this together. It won't always be easy, but when you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. Modelo, brewed for full-time fans, brewed for those with a fighting spirit.
That's how many people.
Nothing is out there on Will Levis.
Who've made more famous fries and more kids' days than anyone else. There are no two orders and no two shifts for the same. That hours that work around your life means more time for your life. That the skills you learn here help you grow from here or keep growing here. 1 in 8 start at McDonald's. And when you start, it stays with you.
Then from State Farm, I really want that personal price plan. So I'll admit it. I'm a path bomb guy.
Dude, you do not need to get that personal. The State Farm personal price plan simply helps you create.
Who is that guy?
Jackson. Call it quick to get a quote today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Which NFL players depend on Sleep Number? That guy, that one, holy moly, all these guys. What they have in the future doesn't mean just look at it. This one here, we got a over there. This him, the offensive Super Bowl. Second one. Smart guy now. It's great. It's a beautiful basketball.
This is a Clancy at the NFL workout. Show the whole thing. Forty-yard dash, 4.78, not too bad.
Well, I spoke to his agent, Jimmy Sexton, and he said they were preparing for this because they went in knowing that in the first round there were 3 sure quarterback spots and 4 quarterbacks here. So it's like
It's funny at one of the local pub bars. Let's see here. And right here is a clip from Clancy.
Yeah, that's a great comparison. Honestly, but I'm Kalijah Kancey at the end of the day, and it's great to be compared to a guy like that in that caliber. But at the end of the day, I'm Kalijah Kancey, and that's what I want to make a name for. Yeah, that's
Interesting.
A great comparison.
I like that. I like that. I like that. Wants to make a name for himself. I like that. Jeez.
I mean, how many quarterbacks you have to mention that went from the second round one of the game back to a player in the NFL? I sat with a couple of Boomer Esiason here. He was like, my first year in 1984, there's a little box on the table, Boomer and I'm mentioning Dan Fouts and Johnny Unitas for Boomer, so don't get down. Just get motivated.
That's a tape of Clancy. I mean, he looks. Oh, wow.
The 2023 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select Dalton Kincaid.
Ah, there we go. Okay. So Buffalo, which had the 25th selection through a trade, they get the tight end Dalton Kincaid. So Jacksonville traded it to Buffalo.
USC game. This season has 16 targets, 16 catches.
Okay, my ticker is not able to.
Grant Peasley, the active player going back to Utah. Grant Peasley got hurt. Dalton Kincaid stepped up and beat him back and had a heck of a year. This was a year of the shine for Dalton Kincaid. He took advantage of every opportunity. He is the ultimate seam director. Great hand shot down to what this did. He's not a tight end. He is a glorified wide receiver, guys. Blocking things and keep improving. He's going to work on that. But he's a guy where they move him around. They move him outside. But he's 6'3.5" range, 246 pounds. Great hand-eye coordination, and a guy, like I said, that really put on a show where he got that opportunity with Grant Peasley's in.
Yeah, on production over the last 2 years, 106 catches, 1,400 yards, 16 touchdowns. If you're Buffalo, we thought about Buffalo maybe adding another wide receiver. What if they add another weapon? They go with Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. You talk about him being a glorified receiver, so they're going to give Josh out another weapon in the passing game. I like what Buffalo did here, making their strength, their offense, and giving him another weapon, taking some pressure off the number 2 receiver, Gabe Davis.
All right. So Dallas is up next.
Run the numbers, run the seams, run the wide basics, which are the 10 yards and cut across the field. He's tough after the catch. He will compete as a blocker. You can use him as an F. You can use him as a U. You can line him up and pull back, put him, off the ball as a tight end block across the formation. He'll compete at all that stuff. Ken Dorsey will find some real creative ways to use this guy, Josh Allen. All
right, so the Dallas Cowboys are now on the clock, and Chris Mortensen has insight for us. Morris. Well, with this pick of Dalton Kincaid to the Bills, and the Bills jumping in front of the Cowboys, this is about where we expect these tight ends to go. Now, for the Cowboys, I don't know who they're going to pick, but I do know tight end is a need. And the one guy who most resembles Jason Witten, when they're all done great for the Cowboys, tight end, is Michael Mayer of Notre Dame. As Malcolm will tell you, he's a full-service tight end. Not saying he's going to be the pick.
Kincaid is from Utah.
Like somebody who can play inline with tight end, block,
So-
still make catches on the field. At some point, we're going to see these tight ends.
So my ticker is not going to be able to do everything here.
I didn't know this thing last year as well, Greeny. Now we just saw the first show, and now I feel like there was a time at the beginning of this process that people were mocking Michael Mayer to go much earlier in the draft than this. So
See what they go.
interesting option here for Dallas.
he's a throwback, Michael Mayer. He's a tough kid boy. He doesn't have the longest arms, like the short arms that bother people. But you watch him play since his freshman year. He didn't play too much. He plays a true freshman. Wasn't that super highly rated coming out of high school, but made a big-time name for himself at Notre Dame. He is a blood and guts football player. Boy, he will win contested situations. He will battle for every inch of real estate after the catch. He'll help out as an inline blocker. He's a throwback to the 80s as a tight end. Yeah, to me, he's the most complete tight end in the draft as far as somebody that can line up on the line of scrimmage and block and also work the
Watching Dallas's watch party.
But he reminds me so much of Jason Witten, a guy that can just get over. Jason Witten is going to the Hall of Fame off one route. And it's wow.
A lot of people think Michael Myers is going to be the pick tight end from Notre Dame.
Catch the football with your hands. Talk about being a body catcher. He's not. He's going to go up and snatch.
We'll see what they we'll see where they end up with him.
He's not quite fast.
For Jamal Brown's 2 and 3, we're not going to be doing the coverage. You can see the coverage on ESPN. So.
He can stick his nose in there. You can line him up there wide. You can bring him across. He can block. And for a team that wants to run the football, like McCarthy said he wants to, this is what it sure looks familiar. How ironic would this be for Dallas to have one tight end?
You know what's interesting, though? No Osiris Torrance. Not getting drafted. No Will Levis. Not getting drafted.
I was low on him. I didn't think Jason had a hell of a career. He's a hell of a guy. There's no question about it. Love his death. I just didn't think he'd be that good of a tight end. I didn't think he'd get over it.
Excuse me.
Like, man, he just doesn't look like he's going anywhere. And I was surprised at the number of people who didn't challenge Michael at the line of scrimmage in college. He was constantly getting free releases. And then he just pushed people around on the second level. And he had those great.
They got 50 seconds to turn the pick in. They clap.
Very, very good at that. It's almost like too easy of a pick for them.
The Cowboys are taking a lot of time to make this decision here, and someone wonders if perhaps we will see a trade. Certainly something has happened as you see
Cowboys pick is in. Should be Michael Mayer. Okay. It's just unbelievable. You know? Great.
Yeah, they talk about that. They're trying to outscore everybody. You have to win how you want to win. But yeah, it makes sense to get a tight end in the situation. That's the direction they go. Their defense. Obviously, each of the last 2 years under 10. You could see that.
Oh, Nolan Smith goes to Georgia. That is a good pick for them.
The tight end makes sense to me as far as what they want to get done offensively.
Wow. Nolan Smith is going to go to the Dallas Cowboys.
So look, I mean, when you know that in the NFC, that you're going to have to be able to control the line of scrimmage, especially in their division against Philadelphia, maybe defensive tackle makes sense. Who's the player that came in and they still like Kaczynski? Okay, we talk about Michael Parker. Edge, linebacker, they blitzed him.
Yeah, I reached my limit, so I can't do the ticker anymore, boys. But Dallas is going to get. Dallas is going to get.
I said, look, it was unfair what you were doing to people down the stretch, dude. I don't know what you're doing.
Nolan Smith. So sorry for the ticker.
So I don't know. Maybe defensive tackle makes sense. I don't know. We're going to find out now. The Cowboys have taken some time, and the commissioner is here to announce their selection.
Sorry about that.
With the 26th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Mazi Smith, defensive tackle, Michigan.
What?
That's a surprise.
Wow. This is huge. Cowboy just selected Mazi Smith, a defensive tackle out of Michigan, over Nolan Smith. Over Nolan, whatever his name is. Wow.
He's got the talent to be a good player. You think about the very least, he's going to be an anchor against the run. He's going to be able to solidify.
Wow.
You got to believe he can expand his game to become more of a factor getting into the backfield.
And I've never seen anything like this. And you won't move him either, because he's a non-level man inside. And for a team that wants to be able to get the third down, how to get the third down, you got to stop the run on first.
So,
to allow Michael Fox, to allow DeMarcus Lawrence the ability to rush the passer.
I just.
It's just one little thing. He can push the pocket. Now you have Lawrence and Parsons coming off the edge. The numbers will show up, but he will I'm pushing the pocket.
But I'll tell you this, Dan Quinn is going to have to keep it going. Playing consistently coming off the ball. For me, I saw him too late off the ball. Not getting off blocks one-on-one.
All right.
1-for-1 at the point of the
So Mazi Smith gets selected. Jaguars are on the clock. Oh gosh, they have so many. Jags have so many directions that they can go, and they're not going quarterback. Not going to happen.
Twice already tonight. Very much in keeping with the theme of the night. What a night it has been. Trades galore, and we are still waiting for the home team, Kansas City, to wrap it up with the final pick of round 1 of the NFL Draft as we continue in just a moment.
That rocking chair would look great in my new house.
I mean, what sense did you have? You had a great chance to grab a guy like Nolan Smith, and you decide to pass on it? Are you kidding me?
Is this a yard sale?
If it's in the yard, then it's...
Seriously?
Here we go. Geico. It's easy to switch and save on homeowners and renters insurance.
Where you could make analyzing big banks' data no big deal.
Go on.
Well, what if you partner with
Nolan Smith, the edge out of Georgia, and you have not taken him yet?
Okay, but this needs to meet our
security standards? Yep.
compliance standards?
I'm gonna tell you something.
In real time.
And you guys gonna think I'm gonna be crazy by this.
That's the hybrid cloud solution IBM and the global bank created. What will you create? IBM. Let's create. How would you describe Chipotle?
But if I'm Todd Bowles and I have 3 7th-round draft picks, I'd be tempted to give those away in exchange and maybe a 2nd-round pick for a guy like Nolan Smith. At this stage, it'd be worth it.
Plus advice and other perks. So we know she's all set because we got USA.
Wow.
USAA, the military community,
Well,
and their family.
I tell you, so let's see what's going on here. See if anybody's in the chat room. If not, we're just going to end it right here. Let you watch ESPN for the final selections. You know. Congrats, happy anniversary to Chris Harry. All right, none of my boys are up. So I tell you what, we've got a few picks left to go. I'm going to sit back and watch the draft, have a little brewski. So you all have a good night. We're going to end this right now. Watch the rest of the draft on ESPN, on ABC, or the NFL Network. It's been great. I hope you all like it. And Animal Football Insider will be back in July and August, getting ready for another great year. So, been great. You all have a good night. And
thank you for watching Animal Football Insider. Be sure to join us every Thursday night here on Facebook Live.
One draft day decision looms above all the rest.